Good, man. I put up a video. Well, I didn't put it up. MMA Sucker, they did a video, asked me to be on it. So about your boy Peyton Talbot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was interesting.
he seems to be the new flavor right now. Looks like a future champion. To be fair to him,
He does. He does. Larry
yeah.
CTM, what's up, dude?
How we doing, Larry? Is it Larry? Yeah, I can't see the chat at the moment.
Yeah, it's Larry CTM.
Oh,
What
Larry,
does the
man.
CTM stand for, though? What's up, Paradox? I just finished watching your video, bro. It was good. Gave it a shot on Twitter too.
Yeah, if you send it to me as well, I'll post it on Twitter as well as you obviously shouting it out on here would be good. I'm definitely going to give it a watch because I saw the preview for it and I was like, yeah, man, this is going to be good. It looked like you put a lot of work into it, which I always respect. You know, and
Yeah.
the fact that I never put any work into mine whatsoever. So I always appreciate people who put in effort. It's a good look. Let me just pull it up here so that I've got it on playlist as soon as
Cue it up.
cue that shit up. Hang on. Yeah, there's a lot going on today.
Ooh. Yeah, we do.
There's a lot to
Do you
talk
see
about
that?
today.
You see that? We got hey, Mia Kinsley. See, we got somebody on Kick on there too.
Oh, sweet.
We're branching out.
Yeah, I saw that Gene Silver and Dober announcement. Boy, that should be a banger.
Yeah.
There's a
That should
few
be
fights
really
to talk
interesting.
about today that have been amazing.
Mm-hmm. Those
Potentially
fighting nerds,
amazing.
man. Those fighting nerds are getting real interesting over there.
Yeah, they're really they seem like the new on the block gym at the moment.
Yeah.
The new guys. There was the one that I was the most I don't know if hyped is the right word, more heartbroken is the Fluffy Hernandez and Pereira one.
Yeah.
Do you remember I said I swear to God, man, I don't know what it is this year. What did I say a few weeks ago? I said, oh, there's when we were talking about matchups for Fluffy, we talked about a few names, and I said I have a feeling they're going to give him Pereira.
Yeah, you did. I mean, I was hoping that he would be able to avoid that because that's tough. It's a tough fight.
Because the
I'm
thing is
not.
that we're already seeing how good Pereira is at middleweight, but we don't quite know how much yet. So
Yeah,
it's potentially very dangerous.
it's a springboard for either man. Honestly, whoever wins that fight, unless it's boring, which I doubt it will be, um, whoever wins that fight is going to springboard into a top 10 matchup.
Oh, no doubt. And as much as I like Pereira, I really hope I'm I'm a Fluffy guy, but
Yeah,
at least I guess the one consolation I can take is I do like Pereira as well. So if he has to lose to somebody, at least there's somebody that used to do one of my favorite professions. Usually not with the male strippers. That was reserved to one specific afternoon of the evening or evening of the week. But the rest was for the ladies. But fair play, I respect it. So I'm pretty chuffed. It's a good matchup, and we've had a few come out of the woodwork as well. How you doing, Smelly Fingers?
yeah.
Good to see you, brother.
He said Nate Diaz called out a reporter at the presser.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, that's what Nate Diaz does, right?
not
He
really
had
a
to call
shock
out
at this
somebody,
point.
he could beat.
How you doing? Good vibrations. Good to have you over here as well. Yeah, Nate Diaz called out this streamer kid Neon. He wasn't Neon, was it? I've heard of that little prick, and I hate him. I hope he gets the
It
fight.
may have been. It may have been.
That'd be
I
great.
don't know.
Yeah.
Who is Neon?
Neon is he's that like I think he's like he looks Indian, but I think he's like this little Muslim kid. You know the one who was going around on like Kick with that fought that
Uh,
influencer chick, and he's basically like Jack Doherty level.
Oh, okay.
I consider him to be like them two to be on an equal par of just cunts that I'd like to see wiped off the planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this dude. Like yeah, he says some weird stuff all the time. He says weird stuff.
It's not even the weird stuff. It's more that like he goes out of his way to be like confrontational and controversial, and it works.
Yeah,
He's like a representation of where the youth has gone wrong these days to the
yeah,
maximum.
yeah. It's definitely working. Dude's
It's
got
working.
almost 800,000 Instagram followers.
I mean, I think if correct me if I'm wrong on this chat. Yeah, wasn't he the one who faked his own death like years ago? Like he said he had some like chronic illness or something, and that he was, and then he disappeared. He disappeared from social media and like YouTube for like 2 weeks, and then came back and said it was all a hoax. I have a question. Could Frankie grow out his hair and rock some dreads, or would that not be cool? Bro, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It's not really a secret. I used to cane roll my hair back in the day. I had really long hair down to my asshole, and I had to do something with it. When I told that story a while back of like an ex of mine cutting my hair off, it was she cut like two of my locks off, and I had to get the whole like, because obviously you know yourself, brother. If someone chops off two in the middle of your head,
Yeah, it looks silly.
it's basically game over. You got to start from scratch. So
Yeah.
you never know.
So I could never imagine. I could never imagine.
I've got some photos. I'm willing to send them to you personally, but not on social media. I'm not ready for that kind of heat yet. Mind you, yeah. When I,
Nah.
when I used to do it, yeah, it was one of those ones where people used to I'd get funny looks on the street, but then like people who I made it work. So it was one of those. Maybe I just thought I made it work. I don't know, but I'll send you the photos one day, and you can judge for yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine anybody taking scissors to my head unless I give them authorization. That would not be. That would not go well for them.
Yeah, I never saw her again, and I was with her for like 2.5 years. I never saw her again after that day. It was either that or go to jail.
Mm. Yeah, that's
It
exactly
was
what
one of
would
those.
happen.
It was one of those.
Yeah,
That's basically assault. These days, that would be assault.
yeah, it is. It is. Find a way to
Back then,
sue
it
her.
was just a chuckle. It was a chuckle at the bar for everyone else. That's all that was.
Plymouth said, "I'm happy to admit I don't know about the people you mentioned. I don't know about these people either. I had to look them up. So I
I
forgot
wish I
totally
didn't.
who Neon was, and then I saw his face, and I was like, yuck."
Yeah, I was about to watch the Paradox video myself, but like I said, I literally just put my son to bed. Like about, you saw how late I came on, Jax. I literally dived on here 1 minute before we were about to go live, which I don't usually do. I like to get on here about 3 minutes before I go live usually. So yeah, I haven't watched the Paradox video yet, but I did see a little sneak preview, and it looks like your best work by far. And it's about Jon Jones, right? So
hmm hmm
I'm naturally just hyped about that. Looks amazing. So definitely throw the link up for that. And if you are newer here again, or been here for a while but you haven't subscribed to Paradox, please do that. He's one of the team, and we
Absolutely.
very much like him to get a boost.
Yeah. Yeah. Good vibration, smelly fingers. I've seen y'all around quite a bit, but definitely make sure y'all subscribe to Frankie and Jax and to Making the Walk. It's the whole group of channels that we have. So there's always some good stuff one place or another. We go live on all these channels. Frankie goes live like all the time. Like he's living live. But
Yeah,
I
it
I go
may get
live
to like
too.
a 24-hour just following around like the Truman Show type thing. I might get to that level one day where I'm just like, fuck it, like
Yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
do a follow around. It'd be sweet.
Yes, your wife will love that. She would adore that.
I'm sure she would. I think I could make it work. Yeah, but we like I think when you get to 30, 40, nearly 40 years old, good vibrations, you eventually you get some tales to tell. Some are like fun, light-hearted little things, and the others are like, oh my god, you're still alive. That's quite impressive. So it's a nice little mix. It's a nice little mix. But like we said, we've got a lot to talk about today. There's obviously there was the upcoming fights. There's a few things I want to get your thoughts on. First of all, we might as well talk. The first thing we might as well talk about before we get into the tier list. What did you think of the presser? The presser.
It was a depressor. Like that was it was I, you know. Um I mean, I think that Dricus said some catchy things. The thing that he said about the golf thing, that was cool. Izzy was he looked uninterested and it was whatever.
Mm,
I don't know. I didn't really take a lot out of that press conference. It was 30 minutes. I wish I could get back, to be
yeah,
honest.
I was saying I was in on Brutally Honest stream earlier, and I kind of described it as in the 10-9 must system, you kind of have to give it to Dricus,
Yeah.
but it's because it's a 10-9 must system. I just felt that like Izzy was doing his usual thing of, oh, I'll come in there and drop a few one line like mic drops that like basically led to crickets. The usual Izzy way of doing things. Which, yeah, man, yeah, I'm gonna show you who he is. And then everyone just goes, what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought
It
Dricus
was
handled the whole situation really well, though.
he did.
For me, the highlight of the whole press conference was him basically saying, look, I didn't offend everyone. I wasn't saying anyone wasn't a fucking African champion. I was just basically saying I'm the guy who lives in Africa and that I train out of Africa and I don't go to other training camps outside of Africa. That's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to. And then you could see Israel was just like, well, that was my one. That was the one I had in the chamber, and
He's
I
like,
better
that's
not
all I
bring up the
had.
kissing the men stuff in public because he'll say I did something to a dog, and then it would just be like, so he was basically done at that point,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
pretty much
sad
it.
shit.
He didn't really have anything. I mean, I think that it'll get a little bit more tame now. Um, Now that they kind of got that little part out of the way, because that's all
I
they
know. I
really
don't
had.
know. I don't know what Dricker said after because he had an interview with Submission Radio after it, and what he mentioned was that like part of why it was very low energy is because obviously there was no crowd there.
Hmm.
And usually when you get questions from the crowd and you get people yelling and you get that's usually when the tension builds, and it kind of felt like it was more directed. A lot of people said it felt like like a I don't know, like a prescribed kind of, and that's because it kind of was. It was basically media member asks a question, they respond, and then the next guy gets like. There was very little back and forth, so I still think there's potential for that to be to get
Could be.
tested. We still
Could
could
be.
get an N-word bomb drop, is what I'm saying.
I,
Just
maybe.
hold out.
Maybe. I feel like Izzy's not as wound up, since he's had that time off. I don't think he's as wound up as he was. So he might kind of hold back on those a little bit. He might drop one, maybe one, maybe. But since Dricus came out with the hey, look, that's not what I meant, instead of just letting him stew in it,
Mm-mm.
he might just kind of drop that point and try to figure something else out.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I think like as long as they keep bobbing at each other outside of that, I think it will all lead up to because I think they're both going to say stuff over social media and in interviews in the interim, and that will stir up some more shit. I expect that we haven't seen as tame as it was. I expect that we're going to get a little bit more. But press conferences are kind of shit anyway. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know, man. I think I'm trying to remember. Does Drickus even really talk a lot? Like really, before fights, like it doesn't really seem like he's even a big confrontational.
You
I'm trying
kind
to
of have to
remember.
look for it. You kind of have to look for it. The thing is with Dricus here, he's the kind of one year where he speaks quite respectfully about people. So when he fought Whitaker before and after, he was very respectful. He's been very respectful before and after with Sean Strickland as well. Apart from that certain point when they had that clash, he
Yeah,
seemed to come out of nowhere where they basically
yeah,
fucked each other up.
that's true.
But then apart from that, it's like, you know, um, I completely understand having pride in one's ancestry, and I'm totally for Izzy being proud. Yeah, the whole thing with Izzy though is just a little bit confusing. Like he feels like he reps everyone, or tries to. He tries
Yeah.
to be that guy, and that's maybe where he's getting a bit of unfair stick.
Yeah, I understand the Nigerian heritage part of it. That's cool. But in a sense, you kind of can't claim everywhere. You got to pick one. Like if I were fighting, USA is going to be on my shorts. That's what's going to be there. Now, if I found out that my lineage is Nigerian, which it probably is, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to put Nigeria on my shorts
Mm-hmm.
because I would be proud to have been from there, my lineage. But I live in the USA. That's where I was born and raised. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I'm going to roll with.
Yeah,
I
it's
was going to
weird.
pick one.
It's weird, but like you said, I mean, there was nothing surprising about the press conference. Izzy's going to stay corny. I do think there's a slight. We talked about this a little bit on Brutally Stream as well, and it has come up in a few other places. What Larry's saying here about, like, and I don't know. I think somebody else said it in the chat as well about kind of it being unfair. There being unfair representation in the media, and it's not just about how much attention they get. But what kind of pisses me off about the Izzy and Dricus situation in particular is I feel like Izzy can pretty much get away with saying whatever he wants. And it feels like Dricus is kind of walking a fine line in terms of what he can say. So like Izzy is posting out fucking memes of like Hitler dancing, directing it at Dricus, and then nobody says shit. And then it's like in Dricus' situation, it's like it feels like he's being goaded into saying something out of pocket so that he can get abused for it.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
it's a bigger societal issue. You know, I mean, I think certain people are given more leeway than maybe they should in certain instances, and he's kind of taking advantage of that. Um,
Hmm.
it's just kind of going that way. Like there's just straight up and down. If Dricus were to say something, people are going to be like, "Oh, what's up, Vic MMA? Appreciate you jumping in, bro."
How you doing, Vic?
If Dricus were to say anything that referenced Nelson Mandela, oh my God, the
Oh
world
shit,
would
it'd
blow
be
up.
over.
The world
It
would
would be
blow up.
over.
Yeah, you can't.
Career over.
He might not get no more fights.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just the way of the world, man.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting. But like I said, I mean, Izzy, the great thing I like about Israel, being an Israel hater, should I say more specifically, is like he tends to do his detractors a favor by kind of putting his foot in his own mouth.
Yeah.
Like if I was his opponent, I would basically just do, like Robert Whitaker would do and some others where they just basically they don't really say much and then they just let him say whatever he wants and then eventually he says something really corny or like, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
he fucks himself up basically.
And I mean, as a person who's a fan of Izzy, um, I still think I've always thought that he says corny stuff. I've always thought that from the jump. I was like, I mean, you can fight, but some of the stuff that comes out your mouth is corny. But
Yeah.
he says a lot of things, and only a few of them actually land. But I mean,
It is what it
everybody
is.
can't be as witty as Conor McGregor can. I mean, Conor McGregor even in the lead up to the second Dustin fight, he said all kind of corny stuff. So
Mm-mm.
even the greats have off days and
Oh yeah, yeah.
off lead ups. So whatever.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Um just to put a final nail on this. It's interesting. You know when you said you'd rep America,
Yeah.
the interesting thing for me is like you obviously know my situation. I was born in Ireland, but I came to England when I was like about 1. And if I ever thought to myself, if I ever got involved with a professional sport, wherever it was, because I was very much into football when I was a kid. So the
Hmm.
question comes up, especially when you're kind of being involved with certain teams and whatnot, and you might think in your back of your mind, I might be good enough to make it in this sport. I never was, but like, um, I would have represented Ireland. I wouldn't have represented England.
That's interesting. That's
Mm.
interesting. I mean, I was just about to ask you that too. Which one you would represent?
No, it would have
Why
been
wouldn't?
Ireland. It wouldn't. I didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. and that's an option, and that's an option that Izzy has. He could represent that, and I understand. I actually understand the China thing in a sense.
And I don't
Um,
understand that at all. I don't get
I
that at all.
get it from the sense of he felt like he grew up there. Like he was an
As a
adult, but
fighter.
he went there as a fighter. He grew up there, so
Yeah.
there's a large part of his adulthood, his career was defined by his time that he spent there. I get that. That's
Mhm.
not where you're from, but I understand that that's part of it. That's almost like his college. I get that. People get
Yeah.
tattoos of the school that they went to and stuff like that.
But they don't say that they're from there.
They don't.
That's the thing thing is that if he come out and just been like, "Oh man, China's a great country. I had a great," if he framed it like you just did, where it was like, "Yeah, man, you're like my career, man." Sorry, I'm not gonna do an Izzy impression. I don't know. You know how he does it. But if he just said, "Oh, it's a great nation. I learned a lot there. I owe a big portion of my career to it." Nobody would have said shit. But saying I'm Chinese, and then off the back of that, then saying, because the thing is, again in that presser, he mentioned something about, oh, when Dricus came in, I never said he wasn't I never said
Mhm.
he wasn't an African, and I was like, bro, you kind of did say that. Like
He did kind of say that.
after he said he was an African champion. Bear in mind, he didn't say anybody else wasn't. He made himself very clear. Said I was born and raised here. I still live here. I train here. I'm not training anywhere else. I'm training here. Izzy came out with, first of all, he dragged Kamaru and Ngannou into it for no reason, and then
Mhm.
was like, "This guy ain't a real African," and then he proceeds to start calling him the N word multiple times on national TV to push
Yeah,
that through.
I didn't understand that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
never
didn't
really
like
tried
that.
that hard to like Izzy, to be honest. I never really tried that hard.
I've always
I
liked
gave it
him.
like
I
5 minutes.
kind of looked the other way on some of the goofiness, the dog things that that's weird. But I like him as a fighter, and his personality is interesting. Um, Smelly Finger said the formative years, yeah, and that's
Yeah, I
exactly
like
what it
that.
is.
I
Yeah,
like that.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But
I
he
like that.
did good vibrations. He did make the race a thing. He threw down the race card, and it's the thing as a black person, like you can't play the race card all the time. You got to know when to play it, and that was not the right time. That wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
That wasn't it.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that piss me off about him. It's like I like with Aaron Tats bringing up the gyno thing that's jumping on the screen now. It's like first of all he has it again, and secondly, what made me so disgusted about that whole thing, it wasn't the gyno thing, because I know a lot of people do some shady shit on the sides. It was when he kind of insinuated that he might have cancer, so that we all went, "Oh, sorry, bro." Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then like, you didn't. Like, a lot of people let him get away with that shit. And that,
Mhm.
like Good Vibration says, this has nothing to do with him as a fighter. Sometimes can he be boring? Yeah, but I don't really hate that about anyone. Because I've said this about Sean Strickland, and I'll say the same thing about Adesanya. If you can get away with spamming a certain thing, and the person doesn't touch you, and you win the fight and you get paid, if I was a
Mhm.
fighter, I would do the same shit.
Yeah.
If I have to get into a war, I will, but I don't blame him for that. What I blame him for is all the outside stuff, the the personality and all the rest of it. As a fighter, I like Israel Adesanya. When he wants to be flashy, he can be great. But as a
Mhm.
man, he's just a cunt bag. I don't like him.
That's fair. That's fair. He gives you
That's
plenty
how I
of
feel.
reasons. He gives. I mean, it's not to the level of, but it's the direction. It's the same direction as Jon Jones. Where he just, as a fighter, he does these things, but outside, he does all these other things to make you just really dislike him as a human.
Hmm. But
Yeah.
again, I don't blame people. I don't blame people for. I find his fans can be very delusional, but I don't hate them anywhere near as much as Dagestani fans, which is one little thing I want to talk about. Did you? A lot of people may not have heard about this, but there's a rumor going around that Ankalaev is having trouble getting into America, and that's what the whole Abu Dhabi call outs are all about.
Mm, that would make a lot of sense. That would
Hmm.
make a lot of sense. I hope that's not the case. I haven't heard that, but it would make a ton of sense.
I'm not going to read it out. I'm just going to leave it there. I got nothing against Ronan. I don't, not at all. I like the guy.
Man, that's funny.
Thought that was quite funny.
See,
I'm just going to
yeah,
move quickly on.
CJ likes running a lot, man. But
Yeah, Ronan's channel's dope, man. I like it.
yeah,
But he just streams at a time now when I'm not awake, so I don't really jump in
I
there
don't know.
anymore.
I don't know when he actually streams.
It's usually in the middle of the night for you. It feels like
Oh,
because he's usually
yeah,
on around morning time for me. Like sometimes I'll be like, floating through YouTube or wherever, and I might see him on, but I'm usually in the middle of like doing something with my son or something, so I can't jump on.
yeah.
Mm. I
He
like
said,
it.
"Remember when Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought? Maybe it was just me, but they were having a back and forth, but they kept it above the belt." I mean, they were having a back and forth, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't. It was
It never
between
went
them.
too far. It was never
Yeah,
about families or anything like that. It was just more stupid stuff like your sausage and all of that. It was never
yeah,
really anything
yeah,
too vitrionic. Like it stayed at a certain level.
yeah. Now, Vic MMA said Izzy is a way better person than Jones. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not hard to do though. What is Western talking about right now? Who's he
He's
talking?
he's talking about I think he's talking about Taz referring to Ronan as a
Oh, okay. Is an interesting gentleman.
did you say interesting gentleman?
Yeah.
Uh
I didn't want to say the other one, you know.
yeah, I'll leave it there. I'm not gonna it made me want to talk about something else, but I might leave it for later on because I'm not gonna get into the whole like P word stuff, but there is something I wanted to talk about with that, but not now. I'm gonna save it.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with MMA actually. It just has something to do. I just had a general question for people, but I'm gonna save it for a little bit later. Um Are there any other fights that haven't been brought up yet that were pretty interesting? We talked about Fluffy and Pereira, which genuinely terrifies me. I like both of them, and I'm especially big on Fluffy. So how we doing? Sorry, I didn't see you in there. And hey, Connor's pal as well. Good to see you
Yeah.
guys.
Um,
So,
I think oh, there's a female fight that's
all right, moving on,
actually
moving on, moving on, moving on.
a headliner. It's a headliner. It's a headline in the card at the Apex though. I'm pretty sure it's at the Apex. Who is it? Verna Jandaroba against, let me see.
How you doing, Betty? What do you guys think of Taz moves? I'm gonna pull this up in the meantime, just because why the hell
Yeah.
not? While we're here,
Oh. Verna Jandaroba against Amanda Lemos. Yeah. It's the headliner. It's actually in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah. Interesting. They're letting these female fights take over, bro.
sorry, can you say that again? I was watching
Oh,
I was
Taz.
watching my spinning attack start immaculate. Sorry. Taz, you got some moves there, bro.
Whoa. Oh, it's a YouTube short.
Yeah. I like everything I could hear and see just went completely out of my mind then. And I was just enjoying the greatness of this video.
Okay, I gotta see this.
There's probably some shit of me out there doing stuff like this. So I'm not gonna say anything out of pocket because I'm pretty sure somebody has some videos of me there that are one day they're gonna come public. So I don't wanna go, you know. It's fun. It's a good one.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Please watch on the stream. The thing is, yeah, I'll tell you what, yeah, I will. I'll put it up on the stream. Is Taz in here? Taz, if
He
you're still in here,
was.
if you give us express permission, I would be happy to play your video on this channel. And you know what? I'm also gonna drop a nice subscribe for you as well, my brother. Because that made me smile. I'll put it that way. That made me smile.
He said he must have blocked him because he can't see anything he writes.
I think Smelly Fingers has been blocked by a lot of people.
What have you been doing, Smelly Fingers? What you been
Smelly
doing?
Fingers is my guy, but I can see why people might block you. I got blocked by like 3 people on Twitter today, so I'm not throwing out any like how dare you. Like it's like I'm saying you're a fellow brotherhood in distress. You're a fellow brother in distress here. Where people seem to block me for just having really really, really fair and like concise opinions. Do you know what I mean?
Man, people block, especially on Twitter. They block for all kinds of foolishness, just
Yeah,
dumb
my
stuff.
favorite one today was when like some guy messaged me, you know, about the Ankalaev fight with Yan,
Yeah,
and he said, "Oh man, Yan said after the fight that he thought he lost and that Ankalaev won the fight," and I was like, no, he didn't. He said he didn't win. He didn't think he'd win, but he'd won, but he didn't think he'd lost. So I was like, yeah, draw. And the guy was like, "Fuck you, you're a prick," and then just blocked me. I was
dang.
like, it's a bit unnecessary.
Agree to disagree. What happened to that?
How you doing, brutally?
Dang, that's wild.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit harsh.
Yeah,
Just a bit. I've been blocked by only 2 people. I've only been blocked by 2 people today, or 3. It's not bad.
yeah. I've
And it
never
is on
been
Twitter. I
blocked.
mean, Twitter's a different thing. I don't think I've really been blocked on YouTube, to my knowledge. I don't know. Andre Lima versus Felipe Dos Santos. That sounds like
I
a
did see
banger.
that. I did
That,
see
so-
that one. That one's gonna be good. That one's gonna
that
be
sounds
good.
like a banger. Holy shit!
Oh,
Almost 80 subs. Yeah, you're gonna hit
look
100,
at you.
bro. And well
That's what's up.
deserved.
Dang, I feel like you were just at like in the 30s or 40s the other day.
Yeah, man. Paradox is on the rise. It took me like 2 months or 2.5 months to get to 100. 100's
Yeah,
a big milestone to hit. It feels like
it is.
100's a big one, then like 500 feels like the next one, and then
Yeah,
1,000 feels like the next one.
pretty
So it's
much.
like those seem to be the ones you want to hit, the milestones. Hey, I'm a nice guy. What the hell? Yeah, you're a nice guy. I didn't say you're not a nice guy. You're just, you
Hey,
can be a nice guy and a cunt. There's nothing wrong
you
with there's nothing
you
wrong
been
with
cool
treading
with
that
me.
line.
I ain't got no problems with you. I don't want no
Ooh,
problems.
I don't want none either. Yeah. Is there a snake in your aircon? I don't know. I assume you're not talking about me. Was it something I said? Yeah, yeah. It was many things you said. Yeah, it wasn't one specific thing. It was like a collection of things. Um, you were at 23 weeks ago. That's dope. Once I get 100, I'm famous. If you think about it, yeah, it's kind of a wild thing to think about. Like, if you had 100 people in a room, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Ooh, Shamil Gaziev against Dontel Mays. That's gonna be a barn burner.
Yeah,
Can't wait
that's
to see
probably
that
the one I
one.
was the most excited about. I almost was ready to not talk about it at
Can't
all.
wait to see it. Can't
Yeah,
wait to see it.
I think Gatsiev might do all right.
I
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Selena Gomez level. That's like that's D-lister. You hit the D-lister stage, then you can start sending out DMs.
Oh, you talking about that rattling sound? That was probably my son or something. Probably something
Got
silly
a
like that.
window open now that we're talking about aircon. Yeah,
I
sorry, what were
don't
we
know.
saying? I always do that.
Oh, we were talking about the amazing Gaziev and Dontel Mays fight.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Gatsiev. I don't know why. The fight he had before was not that terrible, but he looked horrible in his last one. He just looked like you said, a blob. A
Yeah.
blob. We can talk about Fluffy and Mikel Pereira a little bit more now that people are here. I'm genuinely
Mhm.
devastated by this fight. I had a feeling they were going to make it. I had a feeling they were going to make it. I mentioned a few weeks ago that I bet they make this because it kind of makes sense, even though I don't want it to. I'm kind of devastated because I think Pereira might knock him out, and I really like Fluffy. There's better matchups for Fluffy higher up that he could have. I felt like he could have, you know, galloped his way
Yeah.
towards that top 5 like I predicted. Mikel Pereira isn't one that the reason why I don't like it for Fluffy is because I think he deserves to go higher up, and he's taken a much more dangerous fight that doesn't actually push him that far up the rankings. Because if he beats Pereira by however way, he's probably going to move up 1 or 2 spots. But it's a great fight though.
It is a good fight. So why do you think that he's going to struggle with Pereira or Pereira?
He's got good takedown defense, and he can bang, and I think it'll be a 3 rounder. And I do think Fluffy's got a great chin, but the way that Pereira's looked at middleweight, I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I feel like I need somebody against Fluffy who's like the only thing that makes me potentially okay with the matchup from Fluffy's point of view is Pereira does do stupid stuff in gas, but I don't think he's going to be stupid enough to do that against Fluffy.
No. No, I don't think he'll be stupid. Not at all. But I feel like the size advantage that he used to have down at welterweight, the more he moves up in weight, is gets people that are able to stifle him.
Mm-mm.
Um, it's going to start to show. I think Fluffy has a good chance of winning this fight.
I'm still picking Fluffy, but it's just it's dangerous.
But you're picking with your heart on this one.
Picking with my heart. Picking with my heart, man. How you doing, I9s? I'm gonna give a quick shout out to I9s as well. He jumped on the live stream with me during 303, and it was awesome, along with Paradox as well. We had a nice little. It was a nice little back and forth. We ended up being on stream together for like 5.5 hours or something like that, maybe even longer.
Yeah,
It was cool.
yeah.
It was cool, man.
I just realized I wasn't a sub to you. I just shot you a sub. But yeah, I saw y'all on. CJ kept on calling I9s. She didn't know his name. She was like, she kept calling him Andre Feely because of his hair.
I feel like I9s definitely looks like somebody in the MMA space, but I can't quite figure out who it is. When I saw you for the first time, I was like, damn, you look like somebody. And one day it's just gonna click. You're gonna get a random like DM out of the blue, I9s, and it's just gonna be like, yeah, man, it's this guy. So when it comes, I'll let you know. Thanks for
Yeah.
linking I9s in the chat, Weston. Appreciate you always on that.
Yeah.
And I9s made out like a bandit at UFC 303. He was literally jumping off at the end of every fight and running around the room, swinging his underpants around in the air like that, going, "I'm fucking rich," and then coming back
Yeah.
and getting back to business. It was sick. What
Yeah.
once the second or third one hit, I should have been like, "So, bro, like, could you send me some of those?" He was clearly on a hot streak that night.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. That's what's up. But yeah, that was 303. I don't know. Like I left that card being like, was that good? Or I don't know if that was good or
No,
not.
no, it
It,
wasn't.
it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good when I
It wasn't
left.
good. It wasn't good. There were a few nice little fights on it. It was like, I mean, there was some standout moments. Like, I mean, the fact that Mace, I know people shot on Macy Chasson getting a bonus, but she did basically knock what's her face, Mayra Bueno Silva. She basically
Mhm.
knocked her face off her skull. Like
Yeah.
women, you don't see that
Yeah.
from women that often.
Yeah. That
So
cut was nasty.
that cut was nasty. Um, but yeah, it wasn't. There was maybe like Alex Pereira obviously stood out,
Of course. He always does.
and that was about it. And then we move on. That's pretty much
Well,
the.
it's Peyton stood out for the 19 seconds that he had to work.
Yeah, Peyton did. Peyton was a good performance. And he looks like he could be a future champion at his age. I'm getting like Sean O'Malley vibes.
How do you
Like
think he
whenever you
does
get
in
those,
a Adrian Yanez fight though?
I think he's gonna. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Well, I don't really. I jumped off the Adrian Yanez train ages ago. Ages
After the
ago.
Rob Font?
Yeah, the Rob Font destroyed, and then there was another one after that. I can't remember who it was.
Jonathan Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, and Jonathan Martinez is really good, but Jonathan Martinez fucked him up.
Yeah,
Like
he
it wasn't
did.
even
Those leg
close.
kicks. He had no answers. No answers to those leg kicks.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not really too high on that. I think Talbot's gonna fuck him up. I'm like, I kind of felt that. The thing is, yeah, when Talbot had his first fight in the UFC, I was like, yeah, it was. I know he won, but I wasn't overly impressed. But then when he did what he did to Cameron Simon, I was like, nah, this guy is really good. Because I think Cameron
Hmm.
Simon's very decent.
Hmm. I think so too.
But then
I
this
think
one,
that At some point, Cameron Simon is going to start to get ranked too. Like I think that kid is really good.
He's only 22 as well.
Yeah.
So when you win an MMA fight, climb the cage and yell at the crowd, "I am the fucking man." Yeah. In Chasson, it wouldn't really be that much of a wild thing to say, to be fair.
No, no.
I kind of thought. I
No.
mean, to be honest, though, I kind of thought. I said this in my last stream as well. When she had the presser, the presser just before I was actually like, she looks kind of good. Like she's
Who?
not that bad.
You talking about
Shaston.
Macy?
Yeah,
She looks like Corey Sandhagen's sister or something like that. Like they look related or cousin or
and then it's
something.
gone, and it's gone. That one moment it was there.
Did I mess it up?
Yeah, you just ruined it. Thank you.
They are at the same like family reunion at the least. At the least.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's fair. Pedro or Martinez? Yeah, Martinez. I'm gonna check that video out as well because I saw it pop up on my list as well. I think he's ready to go. Yeah, Yanez is pretty stupid for taking this fight. I don't see how he wins it. I'm surprised that people are saying they think it's going to be close because I don't see it at all.
I think that him against Peyton would just depend on how Peyton would want to take the fight. We already know how Adrian would have to take the fight to win. Peyton doesn't have to do anything that Adrian wants to do. He could do whatever he wants and win.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it would be up to him. And anytime you have a fighter that it's up to them, they're more likely to win. So, and you know how I feel about Adrian. I'm a huge Adrian Yanez fan, but reality is reality, and I think that Peyton just has too many ways to win that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's but at the same time, I wasn't like when Peyton took the fight, I wasn't like, oh my god, you pussy, like I was with your boy Joe Pyfer. I thought it was a fair call out. Like Yanez is at that level where it's like Talbot's young. It makes sense in terms of where they are in the rankings, even though he probably knows he'll stomp a mud hole in him. I didn't think, oh, that's a terrible call out. You're trying to basically stack wins at this point. I'm like, nah, you're young. Yanez is probably slightly above you. It makes sense. You know you can probably fuck him up. I get it as a call out. Whereas with the Python one, I was just like, you're a disgraceful human. And I like, again, it just made me like him even less. I'm like, oh, you knocked a guy out. Nice one. And then he ruined it like 10 seconds later with that call out.
Yeah, that was kind of I didn't enjoy that. Man, I feel like they're not understanding this. Chael has taught them how to do these things, and they're just not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, if I was Yanez, I'd be making all kinds of excuses. I'd be coming with the, I don't know what I'd
Smelly
say.
fingers is wild.
I'd be like, I'm in the jacuzzi with some Thai bitches. I'm a bit busy right now. Go down the line. So I'd be saying if I was Yanez, like whatever excuse works really. It doesn't make him look completely like he's ducking him.
Yeah.
It's not as risky as you think. They're easy to spot. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable getting into this conversation when you're around because I know you've got some based opinions, but like you're an adult, you know. Let's
Let's
talk about that when you've got me cornered. How you doing, Chris?
They do what's up, Chris? Like they do corner you a lot. They'll get you when it's late, like say you're doing if you're doing a 3-hour chat on the back end of that third hour, like they'll get you. They will get you.
How you doing, Raymondo? I think I might be forming the most toxic, fucked up streamer base in YouTube MMA history. I swear to God.
Jose Dos Reyes Santos. That's a nice name. I like that name.
Nice to see you, Raymondo. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, when it gets to like 3:00 in the morning, my time, it's like the sun goes up and the freaks come out, and it's just.
Hey, it's not okay. So I'll tell y'all a quick story. about that subject. So me and one of my me and two of my homeboys, we were in New Orleans. We were down there. I had a gig or whatnot, and so afterwards, we hit the Bourbon Street because we had never been there to go drink and stuff. And so we're drinking, we're drunk or whatnot. And one of my homeboys was like, "Let's go to another spot." And we're like, "Okay, it's cool." So we're going down Bourbon Street, and there's at Bourbon Street, they have people kind of stand outside of the clubs to try to get people to come in or whatever.
Like in Thailand.
And
I
that's
see where
so
this is
okay.
going. Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a person that's standing outside of a particular club and trying to get people to go in, and my homeboy is going directly, like directly for this person, and we're not paying attention. We look and we see him, and it's a him. It's clearly a him, but obviously dressed up like a her. And he's going directly that way, and we're like, "Hey, no, I don't think that's what you want to do. We're just trying to give you a suggestion. Unless there's something we don't know about, I don't think you should go that direction." And he's like, "Y'all don't know what I'm." He was like, "You don't know what I'm trying to do." I said, "I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm trying to save you right now because in the morning you're not gonna know what just happened." And I tried to catch him, and I couldn't, and I didn't see him till the morning.
You're a better friend than I am.
I tried. I
You're,
tried.
you're a better friend than I am. I would have gone. I would have literally elbowed the other friend and been like, "Let it go. We'll deal
Yeah,
with this
man.
tomorrow."
I wasn't going in there to get him. I tell you that. That's what wasn't gonna happen.
God damn. Yeah, I'm a terrible friend in that way. I would have let him get fucked in the ass. I'll be honest. Don't hang around with me when that shit happens. I'm brutal, man.
You gotta learn your lesson.
And I'd expect my friends to let that happen to me as well. There's no love in the game in my friendship group.
Uh,
It's basically like you set it's basically like you set them up. Um, you set each other up so that you can basically abuse them for the next 25 years about it.
yeah, it was
That's what
so
it is.
I the next morning I walked out of my hotel room and he was asleep in not the lobby but like the lobby of that floor in a chair. And I was like, "Hey man, what happened?" He's like, "Why did you leave me?" I didn't leave you. You left us. I tried to tell you. You said no. You're an adult. I'll let you go. I tried to stop you. You said no. What do you want me to do?
No, I mean, I'm obviously joshing here. If I was with the if I was out with the boys and that happened and they really thought it was a female, I would I would not let it happen. I'm not that evil, especially if
Yeah.
like there's I mean, I am evil, but like I'm not like that. Like that's the kind of thing that people kill themselves over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, especially guys, especially certain, let's just say certain males that I used to hang around with. Do you know what
Hmm.
I mean? I'm sure you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they're not really big on like the gay community, and that's
Yeah.
basically you know, yeah. But I think that's a good. We can get back to these stories at any point. We'll just try and keep things on track for now because I know the chat's
Yeah. Yeah.
moving. Um, I think that's another. We talked about this a little bit in the last chat about Ige. He was in a fight camp, so as impressive as it was him jumping out of the you know, jumping out of the crowd, as like Ali Abdulaziz likes to frame it, like there wasn't some previous knowledge about it, or that it might be a possibility. It was an impressive thing that he did, but he was in the middle of a fight camp, and he didn't have to cut weight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm
It's
kind of
true.
like, even though Diego didn't fuck him up, which in a lot of people's eyes lowered Diego's stock a little bit, I was like, "Do you know what? I'm alright with it. I'm alright with it. I kind of
Yeah.
get it was rough circumstances for him, so
It was. Diego went through a lot too. A lot of people are giving Dan Ige credit, but you got to give Diego some credit too for what he went through. He went through a lot. Getting into this fight. So, and he went up 2 spots in the rankings, while Ige dropped down. So he got a little bit from it. I'm sure he got
yeah,
some extra money.
it worked out well for him, and he's
So
definitely and they both. I mean, Ige might have dropped down a couple of ranking points, but he's got a lot of love now from the UFC. He's basically going to get a fight that he probably shouldn't get
yeah,
next,
I tell you
and
what, I don't want to see is I really don't want to see him running back right now. I'm not interested. Not to say it was a bad fight or it would be a bad fight. It's just I would rather see them in fights that push them forward than to just see them fight each other again. Well, they just either
I
stay
don't
where
even
they
know
are or
why
flip
anyone's
flop.
asking for that. I don't know why. I know Ige had a good third round, but I don't know. I don't want to see that
Yeah,
again. There was nothing about that fight where I'm like, yeah, give me that again. I'm good.
yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, Pacquiao's fighting at 45 years old. I'm very. I mean,
Why?
why? Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to say about that one. I love Manny Pacquiao, but I
Yeah.
don't get this at all. I don't like it. How young is he? I don't know that much about his opponent, to be honest. It's Mario Barrios. Maybe I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Who is he?
I've heard of him. I can't. Let me see. I gotta look him up.
I'm assuming he's significantly younger, maybe half his age.
He's 29.
Close enough. So there's
Yeah.
like a 16-year age gap.
Yep.
Is he
He could be
undefeated?
his son.
Is he good?
Let me see. What's his record?
He's probably
29
got an
and
O next
2.
to his name.
29
20.
and 2.
Okay. I
Now
mean, if
his two
Pacquiao does it,
losses, his two
Pacquiao
losses are
does
to
it.
Keith Thurman and Javante Davis. So he's got. I mean, those are relevant people to lose to if you're gonna lose. And he's got a win over Ugas. So he's beat some good, beat at least a good fighter. So he's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah. No, Larry's asking as well, yeah, why Johnny Walker's still above Ozdemir in the rankings. It's a weird because I mean I don't really know how the rankings entirely works, but from what I understand, it's media member votes mostly, right?
That's what I hear. Like
And
I
Dana has
had.
nothing to do with it because he literally
That's
complains
what he
about the
said.
rankings more than anyone.
Hmm. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do with it. At least according to him. Even though the rankings come up on his site, he doesn't have anything to do with it, and he approves the things that go on his site. He still doesn't have anything to do with it. Don't know how much I believe that he doesn't have anything to do with it, but that's what he says.
Yeah, I'm with brutally on the Tapology rankings. The only thing that I don't agree with on Tapology is they always do Bellator fighters and PFL fighters really dirty. Like for example, if you look at the heavyweight rankings on Tapology, I think like Vadim Nenkov, like, all right, so all the lightweight rankings, Vadim Nenkov is really low down. He's like below the top 10 the last time I checked. And you got people like Patchy Mix who are barely cracking the top 15 in bantamweight.
Yeah,
And I
which
mean,
is
Patchy Mix was
crap.
was below what's his name? The guy who got the guy with the mullet who got what's his name again? Ricky Simone. He was below Ricky Simone last week. Fucking
Which
Patchy
is
Mix. He was
so
like
silly,
20-1 or something, or 21-1. So that's the only thing about Tapology rankings that I don't like. But when you just eliminate that and you just have the UFC rankings, they tend to be a better representation for sure.
bro. I'm looking at the rankings right now. Do you know that they have Patchy Mix under Cody Garbrandt?
All right. Okay. Jason Jackson is like the 50th best welterweight on Tapology. That says it all, really. He
Yeah,
should be. I thought the last time I checked he was in the top 30, but maybe I'm wrong about that. That is crazy. I know he lost his last fight, and I was obviously, as you know, I was there, but like, and it was a very disappointing fight overall. But that guy's good, man.
let me see where they got him ranked now. Dang, they got him ranked 43.
Yeah.
Behind Santiago Ponzinibbio and Carlos Paredes.
All right. Whatever. That's but it's very like UFC biased. It's way over like that's crazy. That's not even worth. But yeah, I do agree that like I said, if you eliminate it and you just make it UFC specific, you do get a bit more of a fair or a closer representation of what it should be for sure.
Yeah. It says, how many guys do you think are out there right now who are under the radar, who are real killers, just living in some Buddhist monastery somewhere.
Bro,
That's
fuck it.
probably a fair
There's guys
amount.
out in bars that I've seen flatlining guys where I'm like, that guy could be heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
I've been there just like there's some real killers out in the world. I mean, we know that there's like people who they've just got that. There was a guy that I grew up with around my area, and he was like constantly just whenever fights would break out, he was always knocking guys out like right, left, and center.
yeah,
And I was thinking, bro, you
yeah.
need to like, and I mean, one punch KOs out on the street, just
He's
like,
like that Brad Pitt character in Snatch. Yeah,
yeah,
just that pikey. Yeah,
yeah,
just got knockout
yeah.
power.
We all know that guy. We all know that dude who just like, you're like, you should just fight. Like, you should just do this for money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a bunch.
yeah.
So Ramazan and Jason Jackson should be top 10. They should be. They should be, man.
Jason Jackson should be top. Well, I would have said this before his last performance, but he should have been top 5. He should be top 5, really. I had him at
Yeah.
number 2 before that fight, or number 3.
So after that fight, so you watched it in person. After that fight, where would you have him?
Still in the top 10. Because it was one of those ones here where the guy that he fought did no damage to him whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just he literally stuck his head in his sack for 15 minutes. So the first 3 rounds, it was basically that. And it wasn't even he was getting him down. He had him pressed, you know those ones, pressed against the cage, head in the sack. He got him
Mm-hmm.
down once or twice, but didn't do anything. There were no submission attempts. There was no ground and pound. It was literally that. He was just preventing Jason Jackson from really being able to do anything. And then in the last 2 rounds, Jason Jackson took him down and beat him up. So I was like, and then he lost the belt. So it was
Yeah.
It was one of
When
those
is
ones.
that? When is that dude's contract up? He needs to leave.
I'd like to see him come up. And I think the fact that he was talking about the UFC, but just before that, tells me that his contract must be nearing an end and it's on his mind. Because he's not a spring chicken as well.
Yeah.
Chris Gray, I'll get into it with you about turtles when you have me when you have me it's just me. Because I've got a lot to say about turtles, not. I can always expect like one Chris Gray, like, what kind of cheese do you like? What is your favorite way to like eggs?
Do you like rainbows?
Yeah. But it's
Do you
interesting
like
though, you're getting to
dads?
know more about me that people don't. He's like the Nina drama of this stream. I'm like, so what do you like on your toast? Let's get into
uh,
that.
I don't know where Matua is, but he'll say some stuff too. He'll say some weird stuff out of nowhere.
Yeah. Do you like dags? I love that. I love that.
Man, dude, I love that. I love that movie. Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. Like, I watched them repeatedly.
Yeah, it's a great one. I started just for you, Wes, and I started watching Workaholics again last night. Because I was like, fuck it, man. I felt like I needed something easy to throw on. I'm just like, yeah, man, I'll get me some Workaholics tonight.
Yeah. That's one of those shows, man. You just throw it on and do something while you're doing something.
That's exactly why. That's why I miss a
Catch
lot of
these
the
things.
references. Because
Yeah.
I don't sit there and just watch it. I've got stuff going on. It's more that you can kind of hear it, and then when you hear something, you just tune back in, and it's that kind of one.
Yeah.
Oh
Man.
I love you, man, but I stand by that. I stand by that.
That's a
I'm
compliment,
sure you're
Chris.
as hot as her as well, to be fair. So I'm being
Yeah.
fair. You could have taken it that way. You could have
That's a
said that I
compliment.
was Let's have a boy talk. What color are your assholes? Oh fuck. Why did I read that out? I've fallen into the trap again. I've fallen into the trap again.
Oh man. Dang, there was something up there that somebody said. Oh, Good Vibrations was asking about thoughts on damage versus point striking. How many punches are worth a knockdown? I don't know. I don't know how many. I mean, a knockdown is
I feel like the
fight
way that
changing.
things are now, the way that things are set up now, it's like people seem to be of the opinion that this is boxing. And like if somebody gets their fucking ass whooped for the entire round, but then they get knocked down at the end of it, they lose the round.
Mhm.
Which I don't think that's not really how that works.
Nah.
And I think people are really misunderstanding the rules and the scoring criteria and stuff like that.
No, I think what they want to do is move closer to what the schoolyard is, where it's damage based. Like if you're seeing a person getting beat up, once you stop it and you look at them and like, okay, you are getting whooped, like you can tell, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle, especially when it's fights where people are humping each other, on the cage. Like that's not you're not really gonna know
But this
who's
is what I'm
winning.
saying. Yeah, I feel like that's where you're onto something. You know about them deliberately making it a little bit vague so that people would then jump on Twitter
Yes.
and then call each other retarded for the entire day
Chris.
and just spend the whole day abusing each other on Twitter about things they disagree on because there's so many different ways you can interpret things,
Yeah, it's true.
It's contrived a bit.
Don't do this to me, Chris. Don't do this to me with this Nate Dogg thing.
Do you know, I'll tell you what though, just on a little sidebar for Chris, I was listening to just some random like rap shorts earlier on. I don't know why I was. And Snoop Dogg jumped on and was doing his random like freestyles.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's freestyles are fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's always like fourth grade playground and stuff. Like genuinely, I think my son, who's got a very decent vocabulary now, I think he could rhyme as well as Snoop Dogg if you just went, son, is a beat, and you just got him to kind of spit a bit of mad fire. I think he could get it done. How you doing, cold art maker? Do I sound Australian, mate? Australians don't sound like they got fucking sticks up their asses. No, mate. I'm a Brit. I'm a fruity Brit.
He's an
I
Irish
wish
Brit.
I had an Australian accent. I would have come on YouTube like 15 years ago if I could come with that level of sweet It was what do you call them? If I could come with that
No.
sweet accent, what do they call? What's that word they use for how your voice sounds? Dulcet tones.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Fuck, that took way too long to get to. Jesus Christ. We just wasted 30 seconds of good airtime on me going, what's that? Fucking hell.
Wait. So he said that his question was misunderstood. I don't know how I misunderstood that one. I
The thing is,
feel
that's
like
the perfect question
that's
to ask
pretty
when Jax is.
straightforward.
That's the thing. That's a perfect question to ask when Jax is not around because you probably get an answer.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I'm not answering that question, but Frankie might. Yeah.
Oh, Frankie definitely would. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it now. We need so that when you clip this up later for the Frankie and JAX channel, which by the way, do get over there.
Yeah.
You don't want this butthole stuff leaking in. Do you know what I mean? That's strictly from my side of my very, very small section of the audience where things just get a little bit too wild. I do wish I was an Aussie. I said it. Yeah.
Yeah, Aussies are dope. I don't know a bunch of them, but I do know Dougie.
Yeah, no, I used to work with a bunch of those guys. They are they're like beer at 10 a.m. type fellas, which are just right down my street.
Yeah.
I like that. I like a bit of that. Can I remind people as well? I keep forgetting to. Can you please like the stream if you don't mind, and also to obviously subscribe if you're not subscribed, and also subscribe to Frankie and JAX because, like I said, in the next 3 to 6 months, we're basically going to be transitioning all this random shit over to that channel.
There.
So we're going to stop at some point. We're going to stop doing the Frankie and JAX streams on here. And we'll just be doing our individual stuff. We'll be doing our MMA stuff basically on our private channels. But this kind of stuff where basically if you want like just general stuff, that's where you need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Brotendo 64s? I feel like we should what's this? Did I miss something? What's Brotendo 64s?
I know what a Nintendo 64 is. Yeah.
Did I just
Brought to.
trip up again? Did my
No,
British
okay.
accent save me again? And this is like another
No,
N-word moment that I avoided.
I don't think so. I
J
would have
J J
willingly said
J
it.
J J is not really the type to try to do me like that.
No,
Usually,
no, he he normally asks pretty good questions. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Mm.
Hold on, I'll be right back. The little one is calling me real quick.
Which brings us on to Gooch talk today. While
Oh
you
yeah,
take
do subscribe up there. Yeah, over there. Wait.
that's perfect. Thanks for that, Weston. Always bang on good time. You know, I'll talk about whatever the fuck you guys want to talk to. Was Frankie Edgar your first favorite fighter? Mine was Iceman. My first favorite fighter was oh boy, that's a tough question. It was probably Frank Shamrock. It was probably, but there may have been some others at the time. I wasn't a hardcore MMA fan back then. I've only kind of become hardcore in the last like 12, 13 years or so, where I started watching everything everywhere. I was more of a boxing guy. But there were definitely guys like Frank Shamrock and definitely wasn't like, because I think people like Gracie kept me away from the sport because I was like, this shit's gay. And I just didn't really want to watch. Like I used to kind of mock it a little bit. I sorry, what did I?
No, he said, ask Frankie if he can touch his toes. What are you doing?
See, this is the real smelly fingers we're getting here.
Dang. You talking about your first favorite fighter?
Yeah, I said it might have been Frank Shamrock was the first one I remember being like a. But again, I told you like I wasn't really big on MMA back then. I'd watch the occasional thing, but like I said, I thought it was gay corn back then.
Mm.
I'd watch like the odd Gracie thing and them hyping them because you know the Gracie's got a lot of attention back then. And also, yeah, Frank, like Ken Shamrock got a lot of attention because I was obviously very young, and like he was in the WWE, and I was like, "What's this UFC shit?" And then I'd go and watch him fight in a real fight, and he'd fight like a fucking pussy most of the time. So I was like, "Is this what everyone's talking about?" And I just never really. It took me a while to get into it.
Man,
GSP
think
was probably another one that really stood out to me as well, like earlier on, and then he got fucking boring.
yeah.
So there's a
I
few.
think
It's usually someone batshit crazy and gets
my
you into it.
first the first couple with Uriah Faber for sure. And Miguel Angel Torres.
Hmm.
Um, I was a big fan of him. Big fan of him. But you know how I feel about the WC. Like the WC was big for me. And then
Jose Aldo, yeah. Jose Aldo was another one.
after that, it was BJ Penn and Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva was up there as well. I can't really sort the timelines out because I can't really remember that far back because I'm going a bit senile. So like I'd have to really think about it from like timeline days. But that's a good question.
Yeah, yeah.
Chris Lieben is a good one as well. Chris
Carlos
Lieben is one of
Condit.
those
Carlos
ones that
Condit was another one.
oh Carlos Condit is another one who
Yeah,
when I did a welterweight tier list a while back with Fight Franchise, I got a lot of shit for putting Carlos Condit as like the sixth best welterweight of all time.
yeah. I saw that one
Everyone's
too.
arguing with,
I
man,
remember that.
you never had a belt. And I'm like, nah, you don't know, bro. This guy was
He had an
muscle.
interim belt,
Mm.
and he was the champ in WEC. But like Carlos Condit, man, his finishing ability was just like his nickname was so perfect to the way that he fought. Like, yeah. No, you're right. One mean pub. BJ Penn did get KO'd in the streets, but that was old and ridiculous. BJ Penn. I'm talking about a younger BJ Penn when
Yeah.
he was still the prodigy.
Yeah,
Man,
those are good times. I did think that BJ Penn lost it. Like, BJ Penn's not really up there for me because like although he was exciting to watch and he just lost too many times. Even early on, he had a lot of losses. It was always like up and down with that guy. It felt like, but you felt like
yeah,
when you got a prime guy in there, he was capable of beating anyone. You just feel like his out of cage stuff really fucked him up.
it did. It did 100%. 100%. He was never really as focused on his training as he needed to be. I felt like he relied on his natural skills way too much.
Yeah,
But his jiu-jitsu was amazing. His boxing was amazing. His ability to absorb punishment was amazing, but he just didn't dedicate himself to the game like he should have. He was still amazing though.
Yeah. And again, it's like, I mean, even back then, it's like people bringing up Pride. Pride was brutal back then. You know, like soccer kicks to the head and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a totally different era to what we got now.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you think?
Back
Prime
then,
Tony Ferguson whoops Prime. I'm the only person alive here. I do think Prime Tony Ferguson was very, very good. I also thought he was a wanker. I never liked his personality.
yeah. I don't know, man. Prime Tony Ferguson, he was struggling with Lando Venata. So I think that he sometimes fought down to his competition and didn't always fight up the way that he should
Mm,
have. So I think that him against BJ Penn would be a lot more interesting than people think. I don't think that he gets whipped like that. I
yeah,
really don't.
yeah. Maybe I was. Now my kid keeps opening the door and running in, and I don't really want my kid exposed on camera if I can avoid it too much. Unless I choose on a random moment to have him jump on my lap, which may become something that happens.
I'm surprised he's still awake.
Yeah, he's on one today. He had a nap earlier. Frankie's over here seeing if he can touch his toes. You know what? Yeah, seeing as you're so keen to know, I can't do that. I can barely get down to my ankle. I got no flexibility whatsoever. Can we let it go? I'm embarrassed about, because we
The
always used to do
smelling
like
is so crazy.
in football, you know, when we do like the warm ups. My
Hmm.
entire time growing up, I was just like, couldn't never do it. Could never get past it.
Look at Western being so nice.
I'm suspicious now. He's setting me up for something. That's usually when he comes in for the.
He said, "Aren't we both in Italy?"
It's all right. I'm not that sensitive about it. I'm not that sensitive about not being able to do it. It's not that, like, there's some other things I can do really well. Ask the ladies, or don't. Definitely don't. How I use that example.
Hmm. No, that's a good one. You see what Aaron said?
Hmm.
He said, Whoa Black Betty had a good take in saying that MMA hasn't particularly evolved as much as people think."
And that's the thing. Yeah, in my top 20 list, or when I think we did a top 10, or we each did a top 10, and the majority of guys I had in my welterweight rankings were from like the GSP Matt Hughes era. Like I had like Carlos Conduit and people like that, but also some divisions were really good before. Like Larry was talking about light heavyweight a bit there. Light
Hmm.
heavyweight used to be the premier division,
Yeah, it was.
and now it's one of the worst,
Yeah, it is.
which is interesting. And I kind of feel that way a little bit about featherweight and lightweight now. I feel like featherweight, although featherweight and lightweight obviously has very good fighters, I feel like bantamweight and welterweight, and we were talking about the rankings outside of middleweight as well. Middleweight, welterweight, and bantamweight, all the way up to the top 50, the unofficial top 50, is just stacked with absolute monsters from like top to bottom.
Yep.
Whereas, like,
Yep.
and I'd say featherweight's probably fourth now. We were talking about doing this at some point as well, where we might do a ranking of where the divisions stack up now.
Yeah, because I feel like it's changed. It's definitely changed because I feel like before I may have had featherweight a little bit higher, lightweight a little bit higher, and I just don't feel that way about them. At least not right now. I feel like both of them are kind of stagnant.
Stagnating is the right word. Yeah.
What's up,
Yeah.
Dougie? I was just talking about you.
We always bring up Dougie at some point. It can't be helped because
Yeah,
some Aussie jumps in and starts talking shit. We're like, we know an Aussie. He's a cunt.
yep.
Let's talk about that.
But no, yeah, we need to do that. We need to do a video on that. Matter of fact, there's nothing happening this week. I mean, tomorrow's 4th of July, so y'all don't celebrate that, but I do. But but I think that that's what I'll do on for the Making a Walk channel. Me and Frankie will do a ranking of the weight classes. I think that'll be interesting.
That's gonna piss a lot of people off. That'd be a good one. There'll be a lot of
Yes,
people unsubscribing that night, but you know, you got to take one for the team
you got to do what
sometimes.
you got to do. Got to do what you got
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, do sub to Dougie's Corner. He's a cunt, but we love him. And he does give me nice shout outs every now and then. Like he posted something I put on Twitter in his last video, and it wasn't my most shiny moment, but I'm glad I got a mention.
Yeah, Dougie's a gem.
Dougie's a gem.
I saw that Xbox too. I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, that heartwarming video of that kid at Christmas. It was a
Yeah,
beautiful moment. Yeah, I loved it. And
he was
Dougie,
sitting there with it too.
If
He
you
was
don't
just
put
like,
Dougie, just as a side note, if you don't put my name on that fucking Xbox, bro, we're gonna have some problems. See my name on that Xbox. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is nice. Hang on a sec. My fucking name, bro.
yeah, Smelly, you can get an invite to the barbecue. You know it's gonna be one for sure. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, Klaus went ahead and ranked his.
135, 185, 145, 170. I'm not that mad about that. There's an argument that can be made for that, for going it. For me, it's like it's 135, it's 170, I'd probably say. Then 185. Then I'd maybe even in terms of skill level, I might even go flyweight. I might have somewhere up there as well. There's no
Yeah,
personalities in there, but skill wise, flyweight's good.
flyweight is dope. I had to really think about it. But I definitely know 135 is first, and 185 is probably second.
My name's on it. If I just was it? Oops.
Wait, your name's on the
Lost.
Xbox?
Yeah. I was genuinely hurt, and now I'm like, oh, thanks.
So Larry said that lightweight is definitely the number one toughest division. Then bantamweight, then featherweight, then welterweight, flyweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight.
Do you know what, Larry? The reason before we get into that, I will say, like, no, in terms of, for me, a big indicator of how good the division is how much danger their champion is in. And Islam Makhachev ain't in no danger
None
whatsoever.
at all. None.
That's why I have it a little bit more down there. And also, if you look at lightweight, we could pull up lightweight again. If you look at the lightweight rankings in the top 15, everyone's either losses or they're either they're coming off a loss or they fought each other already. And it's kind of a bit all over the place. Whereas it doesn't really feel like there's much of a, hang on a sec.
Let's check it out.
Let's just make it stark. Hang on.
Here's,
Blow that up.
Here's lightweight. So there's lightweight over there.
So my point is proven. Arman Sarukian can't fight for however long. Charles Oliveira's lost to him. Justin Gaethje's just lost to Max Holloway. Dustin Poirier's just lost to the champion. Mateus Gamrot, no one likes him. Michael Chandler, we don't even need to go into him. Benil Dariush has lost 2 in a row. Rafael Fiziev has just lost. Max Holloway shouldn't be number 9. And then when you start getting a little bit lower, it's like, all right, Moicano's on a little bit of a run, but who's he really beat? He just beat Jalen Turner, he's had a few losses. Same thing with Dan Hooker. He's lost to a bunch of dudes. And then the lower you go down, it's like, yeah, what you got? That's the problem with lightweight for me. That's why I don't have it that high.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at.
And then Dougie said bantamweight is on fire. Is it? Let's see. So Merab should be fighting Sean O'Malley for the belt.
That makes
Corey
sense. Should also be fighting for the belt, really.
Yep. Peter Yan is coming off of injury, but he did win.
Mm-hmm.
Marlon lost to Sean. Henry lost to Merab. Mm-hmm. Davison beat somebody who's not ranked. Song lost. Jose won.
Mm-hmm.
He beat number 14 though. Rob Font is Rob Font.
But then you've got guys like Umar and Kyler and Mario Batista, who you could all say could potentially be top 5 at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I still think it's the best division.
And if you look outside of bantamweight, it gets even, like, if you look outside that top 15, there's loads of guys that are just unreal.
True. Saeed, Yanez, Talbot, like tons of people, tons. It's true. So it's the best division. It is.
We'll get to
middleweight's not bad.
Yeah,
Middleweight's not bad.
it is. And even outside, we had a little look at 185. Not that 185 is incredibly stacked outside of the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Middleweight surprised me of how stacked it is. It's got what's his name? Oh shit, what's his name? The guy who's 14-0. That Russian dude.
Oh, um,
Kizraev, is it?
yes, that's it. That's it.
Kizraev is 50th.
Yeah.
That basically says it all. There's like
Yeah,
some really good guys in middleweight outside in the unofficial rankings, but they're there. They're in the UFC. They're competing. Middleweight's pretty stacked as well. And 170's also got a very similar thing where there's a lot of guys outside the top 15 that are good. It's a good conversation to have, and I think it's a tier list that we can feasibly get round to doing.
Yep, we'll definitely do that one.
I wish they match Max Holloway up against Islam. I think his cardio and grappling defense would give him a great chance. That's the fight I wanted. When he beat Gaethje, that's the fight I was calling for instantly. I don't want him to go back to 145.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I think he's much better suited to fight in Islam as well. I would have loved to see it, especially now. I think if they'd known that Sarukian was going to be out, and considering they're the ones that banned him, they should have been pushing for that Max Holloway fight immediately. Are you doing Mo? Once here. I never expect Mo to, even though I love when Mo turns up, I never really expect him to, because even though I'm up until the crack of dawn, I don't expect that you will be. So it's cool to have some of the UK brothers representing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about 125 as well. I think 125 is legit amazing as well. I'd have 125 easily in my top. Well, it's definitely in the top 5.
Top 4?
Maybe top 4.
Yeah.
I'd have it above featherweight and lightweight now. I'm being real.
Yeah, I would. They just featherweight and lightweight has too many questions, too many weird situations going on. They're both stagnant, especially with their champions. Not just, I mean, I know Islam just fought, but when is he gonna fight again? Like, how long are we gonna wait? Is he gonna fight on Abu Dhabi? Probably not.
It's gonna be a hot minute. Maybe they'll do Dustin Poirier again. All your dreams will come true. It'll be that. I will literally stop watching UFC entirely if they do that. I'm done.
Bruh. So, you know what it reminded me of was, you remember when Uriah Faber got like so many title shots? Like, it was ridiculous how many title shots he got. He had like 4 of them.
I remember.
Like, it reminds me of that. Yeah, Dustin doesn't deserve another.
Where guys are just forcing themselves out of contention, you just got to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It would be as bad as the Colby situation again. Like, it would be that all over again. It's like, it's enough now. He should never get a title shot again. Ever.
Nah, I think it's a wrap, man. I really do. And you know that's my guy. But let's just be real.
So Aaron's usually a very good source of information for this. He very rarely misses. He's saying that we're going to get Oliveira fight news soon, and I think I saw something about that. Who do you think it might be? Off the top of your head.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you know that there was the rumors after Dan Hooker was joking on the TV show with Alexander Volkanovski.
It's not going to be
about
Dan
it being him. It ain't gonna be him because that doesn't make sense. It has to be somebody coming off of a loss. I don't think it'll be Justin Gaethje again.
I think there's a weird feeling in my bones here that it could be either Islam or Colby. I feel like those are the 2 options for him right now.
That's true. I did see the stuff about Colby.
Gamrot?
So no. Well, you know what? They might make. They don't like Gamrot. They might make Gamrot fight him. Gosh, Gamrot, he's in such a bad situation, dude. Gosh, he's in a bad situation.
Moicano, I don't think is going to happen because with them, I think they have a relationship of something, not that kind of relationship, but I think because they're both Brazilian and they have trained together before, I believe.
Isn't he supposed to fight Benoit Saint-Denis in Paris anyway?
I think that's what's happening. I think he is. I don't think it's been made official yet, but it's, you know, those ones where it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
And that seems to be which is also another interesting fight.
Yeah, it is.
I might pick Moicano in that one as well. I might stick by my boy, especially after
figured
the
you
Jalen
would.
Turner, when everyone turned on me when he fought Jalen Turner. I
Yeah.
feel like I should stick to that.
The reports about Oliveira fighting at 308 came from a guy that's makes stuff up. I'm guessing that Charles is fighting on the Sphere.
It's by that guy that makes stuff up. Is that douche on? Is that douche on Twitter that always brings up fake fight news?
Yeah, probably so. Probably
I
so.
can't remember what the guy's handle is. I shouldn't probably be giving him any fucking further like publicity. But there's one guy on Twitter I know that's always on there who's constantly saying this fight has been officially made, and it never is.
Yeah, we said something about it in the chat too. I can't remember who it was, but when I see his handle, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, whatever you're saying is fact
Bullshit.
or
Yeah,
ain't a fact.
I should just block the cunt really, but
I hate when people do that.
yeah,
They
it's
know
so
we are
jarring.
like really want to see this stuff. Throw this nonsense up there.
What do you think of Volk versus
That's
Justin?
it. That's it right there. Aaron just said it.
Where is it? Ruben Carter. That's the guy. That's the cunt I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That's the dude.
He says things that are like believable, but they're all wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all
That's the
wrong.
biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of Volk versus Justin as a potential matchup? Even if it doesn't happen, we're gonna assume that it might not. It probably isn't. But like, just hypothetically.
Hypothetically, I think I just don't know who Volk is right now. I don't know who that dude is. I don't know who he is anymore.
You can, by the way, can I say you can see why I have a problem staying on track in my chat these days?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's like I used to come in there with a plan. I'd have things written down. I'd be like, right, we're gonna talk about this, we're gonna talk about this, and then shit like this comes up. And it's just like
bro.
I just throw things out the window anymore. I don't plan anything when I come on live stream anymore.
How many people are in this chat?
I've got 23 here on YouTube.
I don't even know.
It's crazy, man.
I can't even see. But like, and I know it's more than that. But that's what you see these things, and like everybody's saying things that are super funny, and like when I'm talking, I'm trying to make a point, and then I read, pardon my French, but I hate how Dana is.
That's the thing, and then your brain just wipes out. You're like, what the fuck was I talking about again? So you just imagine him sucking Jon Jones off, pretty much. That's when I've got a very like an emotive mind. As soon as someone says something, it's like boom, it's just right there. Like, I think I might have some kind of syndrome of some kind, because it literally just happens
ADD
instantaneously.
dude. Yeah, dog, y'all say some hilarious stuff. Smelly Fingers is a fool. Mo is a fool. Tats is like, hey, look, these are the facts. This is what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Western's crazy.
This would be funny as well. Charles and Connor would like. I feel like Chandler's about to get fucked over and have the biggest meltdown of all time.
A Chris Benoit situation. I hope it's not
Oh
that.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think he's on the verge. And the thing is, yeah, Chandler, secretly might be the most hated guy in the UFC. He's almost Ian Gary levels. Whenever I see this guy on Twitter, he'll post something corny and literally get attacked from all sides. I'm amazed he operate. Maybe it's his whole shtick. Maybe that he thinks, "Oh, I'll just generate some hate," and then people. Maybe that's his idea of getting attention and getting. Do you know what I mean? But I think I never see him getting positive anything from anyone. Even people who suck people off on Twitter, they're very much like, "Shut up, you balloon animal," and just start abusing him and calling him corny. And he never has nice stuff. If you look at his Twitter, all of his stuff is just riddled with just like hate.
Yeah,
Nobody likes him.
It's unfortunate, dude. Like that sucks for him, but even Dos Anjos went back at him, and that was hilarious to me. Like when RDA goes back at you, and RDA don't say nothing to nobody.
Yeah, he just came out of the woodwork and was like,
I was like,
corny. I was like, oh man.
I'm like, RDA?
Yeah,
and actually saying good stuff too.
yeah, it was funny as well. Yeah, he
Yeah.
Chandler got like, yeah, he got ripped apart in a space of about like by 3 different people on the same day because he tried to say to because Dustin made that comment about oh, I'll jump in to
Hmm.
Islam, and then Islam was like no, like,
He's like,
and then
no thanks.
Chandler tried to dive in as well, and then like everyone just assaulted him. He basically tried to jump on the back of Islam's tweeting on it, ride his little coattails, and everyone was like, "Fuck off!" And then he said something about who was it? I think he tried to call for the Islam fight and then got cooked by everyone. And then RDA chipped in and was like, "You're corny, bro. Just shut up." Can you say
Yeah.
Twitter in America? My American accent's awful. Because like this, it's so difficult with you guys.
Do you have one? You have an American accent?
I don't have one I can go to. If I did, it would be like, you know that redneck one. That's what I'd go for.
Probably easy.
It's the
Easy
easiest
one
one
to
to
do.
do.
Yeah.
You know.
Super distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
CJ has a pretty good English accent. She does it
I
pretty
think
well.
English is one of the easiest ones to do because you basically got to sound like you're a
Nah.
complete twat.
No, we sound stupid. Hey, MMA sucker. I'm sure it's Jeremy. What's up, man?
How you doing, Jeremy? Nice to see you here, bro.
Bro, our English accents sound terrible. Terrible.
You basically just got to sound like. I always love how like black stand-up comedians do British accents
Yeah.
because when
I
they
don't
do
know.
them, I'm like, I feel hurt. I'm like, oh man, he got us. Like he got us again. Like you know when Dave Chappelle does his white guy impression.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the quintessentially like British piss taking one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Man.
hurts. It hurts. You know when someone's like when you're laughing along to a set, and then all of a sudden he'll come out with that, and then suddenly you're just like, suddenly it ain't funny anymore. Do you know what I mean? You're just hurt. You know it's good. That's, you know they got you.
It's like, dang, that is me, isn't it?
No, because it's
Yeah.
like the double slap. It's like the white guy and the British guy all at once. It's like it's a double slap. Yeah, that's how
Okay.
it would be. It would be a Bryce Mitchell type. I love doing like the South African accent and the South African one and the Australian one are my favorite ones to do because they sound very similar to me.
Hmm. They do sound similar, at least to me.
Yeah, I think
Smelly
if I
field,
think if you
Steve
talk,
Irwin.
I've said this in the past. Yeah, I think if you talk with like an Australian or a South African accent, anything you say automatically becomes like 10% funnier, just automatically. It's like with the Irish accent as well. It's
Yeah,
just if you drop bars in a certain way with that accent, it's just like it elevates it, bro.
bro. Like, dude, Ronan's Conor McGregor, his impression is so good. At least to
Is it?
me, like it's so good. Like, it's amazing. Now, now he might do it too much, but dude, it's
I'm
spot
gonna look out
on.
for that. I'm
Spot
definitely
on.
gonna look out for that. Yeah, the race draft was one of the best skits ever.
It really was. Bill Burr, man. Bill Burr was in that thing. He was in that draft. He was in that skit.
Yeah.
He said,
You
he
won't
said,
catch me
Klaus,
doing any Chinese impressions. I'll put it that way close.
nah.
It's a complicated situation. Like I said, the only reason why I don't really talk about the mother of my child too much is because like it's the one area on YouTube that I don't go to. And I've talked about, I mean, you know what I'm like. I pretty much nothing's off topic for me.
Yeah.
But it's more because like I don't think she would take too kindly to being spoken about on YouTube. And I don't want that situation to get political. That's all I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
say.
No, she lives there. She's there when you sleep.
That's all I'm gonna say.
You don't want them. You don't want that smoke.
Nah, I do not. Why does
Oh
Robin
yeah.
stay lying on ITP? What's that?
Oh, I think he's talking about. Is he talking about Ronan or Robin?
Oh,
Ronan.
Ronan. LA and AutoWorks up in the building. Whenever LA and AutoWorks pops up, I feel like things are gonna go off
Yeah.
because he
I'm
doesn't
saying
come in that
around there.
regularly. But like it's when he does, it tends to be in the middle of like the eye of the storm. Like, come on, dude, Jackie Chan. Man, do you know what? Yeah, I'll know yeah that my time on this time my time on this platform is over when I have to do impressions to get like subs and fucking people sending donos.
So no, the blind KKK guy, that one was dope. That was the first sketch that they did. The Black Gallagher, I felt like he missed with that one. I got it, I understood it, but I didn't really like that one.
The what one?
That was Black Gallagher. That was one of the sketches on there. It was okay.
I don't
It was
think
all right.
all of Chappelle's. The thing is, their skit shows are generally not funny in it. Like generally they're not, but Chappelle's was. It just wasn't for a sketch show. It's goated in it, but like it was hit and miss. Some of
Yeah,
them.
like every sketch show is not gonna nail every sketch. It's too hard. But like Key and Peele does great sketches. Um, Obviously Saturday Night Live, it depends on the era. Kids in the Hall was a great sketch show.
Mhm.
Um, but like there's a variety of sketch shows. Mad TV was a good sketch show, but they're not all just knocking them out the park at every sketch. And I think they Black Gallagher missed.
Funnily
But
enough, here my favorite. I know we're getting off topic here a little bit. My favorite aspect of the Chappelle show was Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy was funny.
I love the Charlie Murphy little stories, the Hollywood stories from Charlie. They were my favorite. They were my favorite
And they
parts of
were
that whole thing.
true, dog. They were true. That's what was so funny about them. Seinfeld is not funny, you're right. But um Charlie Murphy, have you heard Eddie Murphy do Charlie Murphy, an impression of Charlie Murphy?
I haven't. No.
Bro, oh my God. It's so good. It's perfect. He sounds just like him.
Yeah, the Fear Factor one was funny. So I can imagine he'd do a because he's his brother, isn't it?
I mean,
Like
of course. He had a lot of practice,
anyone can
but
do
no,
a
he's
Charlie
so
Murphy.
good.
There was somebody else I heard doing a Charlie Murphy the other day. That was really funny. It was another. Oh, who was it? It was another comedian. It was another. It was one of the big dogs. Fuck, I can't remember. That's gonna haunt me now because I feel like it's
The milk's gone bad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was dope.
Thank you, Jeremy. Like, Kids in the Hall. Like, people don't know about Kids in the Hall, man. Kids in the Hall was so good.
I can't bring it into I can't bring it into the forefront of my mind. I might have to go back and watch.
It was so
Everyone's been
good.
shouting "Kids in the Hall," so I'm like, I might need to check that out as well. I'm always good
Yeah.
at going back at old stuff. Yeah, Charlie Murphy's is hilarious. Because the thing is, it wasn't. I know it makes it sound like I'm bigging up like Charlie Murphy's. He was the best part. But it was when they all came together. Because you'd have Charlie Murphy telling the stories, obviously, and then Dave Chappelle would be the one doing the
Yeah,
impression of
acting it
whoever it
out.
was, and it just went together so perfectly.
It did, man. It's his whole set, man. Everybody that was involved in the show, like he just picked the perfect team to go along with him. Like
Yeah.
it was.
Would you pick the Rick James one over the Prince one?
Ooh.
Because I think what killed the Rick James one for me, the reason why I'd have the Rick James one slightly higher is because then they obviously had Rick James commenting in between it as well,
Yeah.
which just made it like
Dude,
that
that's
much.
tough.
It made it seem that much more realistic. Because when you saw it, you were like, "That definitely happened." Like
But
everything he's
both
saying definitely happened. Like,
those things did happen too. That's what's so funny. Like obviously they embellished a little bit here and there.
mm-mm.
Prince did play basketball. He did.
Yeah,
Like
apparently
that
it was really good.
actually happened. The
Yeah,
pancakes, everything. It was true. And then Rick James, dude, Rick James was a fool. And yeah, that stuff was true. That stuff was true too.
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to go back. I feel like I can go. It's been a while since I've seen the whole show, so I could definitely. It's one I could definitely go back and watch again.
Yeah.
It's one of those every couple of years you chuck that on.
That one's golden.
Ellie and Autoworks is asking, "What's the worst fight on this horrendous fight night for you guys?" I mean, fuck me,
On the fight night that's coming up?
bro. I feel like we should be asked. Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me see. Let me look at it. Let's see. What's the worst fight?
There's no fucking fight on that card that I'm. Yeah, I don't know. In fairness, yeah, I actually think. I said this yesterday as well, or the day before yesterday. I think Tracy Cortez fighting actually does more for me than Macy Barber fighting, because at least I can jerk off while the main event's on. So there's that. Kill two birds with one stone.
I don't know, man. Santiago Ponzinibbio against Muslim Salikov.
I think he said the worst fight on this horrendous fight. That's not the worst.
Okay, let's see.
Picking the worst one is like real problematic.
Okay, I mean Viviane Arugio and Jasmine Jasudavicius, or Luana Santos against Maria Agapova.
Maria Agapova's on. Wasn't she homeless like recently?
She looks like she's still homeless, but
and autistic. Didn't she say that somebody tried to like sex traffic her quite recently? I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, that's true. Like, look it up. She said that.
I really hope
she said that shit. We had a really good talk. It's a shame that you guys weren't here for the stand-up comedians one we did. We should have done like a specific specials tier list as well, because like I'm Rick James, bitch.
Plus, that'll give people some homework to do if they haven't seen it, because there's a lot of stand-up specials.
There's so much stuff. There's stuff that we were talking about that I had no clue about. Like there were guys that you brought up, and I was like, man, I don't even know who the fuck that is, and it's somebody big.
Oh, Larry, that's a tough question. Would you rather lose a parlay with your mortgage on the line, or get hit with the same shot by Josh Emmett that left Bryce Mitchell season?
I think I'd take the shot.
I'm gonna take that punch, man.
I think I'd take the shot. I've been punched like that for free. So like I ain't putting my mortgage up. Or I've had people try to knock me out like that for free. So
yeah, no.
You've seen my personality. It shouldn't surprise you that people try to fuck me up every now and then. You know?
Yeah. No, LNA said Ponzinibbio. Yeah. I don't know what Ponzinibbio is anymore either.
I still think I don't know, because Ponzinibbio was at least once good. I don't think it was it's a terrible card. I mean, there's nothing to look for. We've got 2 shit houses in a row. And the weird thing about the card 2 weeks from now, is it in Denver? Yeah, is that where the Rose one is? It's in Denver.
Yep.
It's like they ran out of. It's like people stopped. It's like people stopped signing up for those fights, and then they just went, fuck it, let's just do that. Like they've stopped trying to make fights for that card. There's like 10 fights on the card. It's crazy. Would you rather spend the night with Jon Jones after a comedy special, or take a Francis Ngannou punch? I'm gonna have to go with that punch again, to the face. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with that. I guess with Jon Jones, you could always run away, but I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
Spend the night with Jon Jones after a comedy special. Why wouldn't you just hang out with Jon Jones? I don't think it's going to be a Diddy situation.
Yeah, for real. It's not like, I think he just
might be okay.
Flirt with you majorly. I don't think he's an R word yet. You know.
Yeah,
let's save that.
I think it's okay.
Talking that until the next debacle with Jon Jones. But for now, at least he's not. I think he's just gay. He's not like a R worder. Right? No.
Yeah. But
I'm not overly confident on that. I mean, I feel like there's still one more big scandal to come from him.
Hopefully not. Hopefully fades into obscurity.
So I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. Maybe you can.
Oh, I missed that one.
At 9 Gs. I don't know that reference.
I don't know.
A little bit more context for that would be awesome, because I'm not sure about that. That's a good way to segue into Paradox's video on Jon Jones. If you feel like some Jon Jones abuse, head over to Paradox as well.
He's got a lot of things to say about Jon Jones.
Don't spoil anything for me yet, because I haven't seen it yet. Surprisingly, I don't have a very good gay voice as well. I mean, outside of the regular gay voice that I use, which is my normal voice. I don't have like an extreme version, because I feel like I'm doing it every day. Being British, it's like I feel like, do your gay voice. I'm like, just listen to anything I've ever said to anyone ever. That would be my gay voice. Yeah, the
Nah,
city one. The way he
I
says
don't have
city
one of
though, with
those.
the way he says city though, with like 14 Y's in it, is like it's it's zesty. It's zesty to say the least.
He's got some zest, a little bit,
He's a zesty
a little
guy.
bit.
Oh, Aaron Tatz
Yeah.
as well. Aaron Tatz, yeah, I think is working on a video as well. I can't wait to see. Like, there's so many guys now
Oh,
that work with us, and they're gonna do. Look, they're with us all the time, and they're making their own videos. I very much strongly encourage everyone to subscribe to people who are associated with the channel.
he said, just pucker your lips. Smelly's tripping down.
Again, you just have to go through I noticed, yeah, looking back at some of my old streams, I do some very dodgy stuff with my lips as well. There's so many times I'm like, oh my god, man, just like the homo real on my side must be like off the scale right now. And I'm not even doing it on purpose. That's the worrying thing.
Got a lot of Jeff Molina in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've gone harder than Jeff Molina, to be fair. With Jeff Molina, it's like there's like 10
Gone pretty
seconds out there.
hard.
There's like 10 seconds out there of Jeff Molina being zesty, whereas I don't know. I've got a bit more in the catalog now. I'm the GOAT at self promo. You fully deserve it, bro. You've been a long supporter of the stream, so definitely I'm willing to boost your stuff to the moon.
Oh, you're
Yeah, we
learning how to
talked
use
about the
DaVinci
sexual chocolate
Resolve.
stuff.
Okay.
It's funny, like John Sexual Chocolate Jones.
I'm glad that didn't really become his nickname that he was actually putting out there. That'd have been terrible. He would have never got the belt. Not with that name.
Nah, he would have never got a shot. You can't be doing that. What's this? People love to hate on Jon Jones now, but back in the day, him throwing elbows and like strangling people, I didn't forget. Jon Jones has the second best submission, or the submission that I found to be the most. People have done it more often now, but like when he did it at the time, I was like, this guy's different. When he standing guillotined Lyoto Machida,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God damn,
Just,
the only old school submission for me that stands above that is Mighty Mouse's on Ray Borg. That's it.
man, dude, the mousetrap. He called it something stupid, the Mighty Whiz Bang or something. Dude, it should be called the Mousetrap. Like, that's the nickname.
The
Like,
Mousetrap should be the name. What
that's
did he
it.
call it?
He called it the Mighty Whiz Bang. Like,
Yeah, he's not my goat anymore. That's
I'm
it.
like, that's not it, bro. The
That's not it.
Mousetrap. But yeah, those are the two. Those two and the Korean Zombies Twister are the three that like stand out to me. I really like all three of
The
those.
thing is, yeah, I got to admit, yeah, Twister submissions are amazing, but I more put it down to how retarded as an opponent do you have to be to let somebody set something up on you for 3 minutes flat.
It was Leonard Garcia,
Don't.
man. That's not what he does. That's just not what Leonard Garcia does.
If you get twisted, you should never compete in the sport again.
Yeah. And he was close, like shortly after that, he didn't.
Yeah, I thought Machida was dead as well. The way he fell after he got choked out, I was like, God damn, he's a goner. Hang on a second, I got my door opening again. I'm gonna close my camera for a second, but I'm still here.
Yeah. See, he said, imagine if Tony KO'd Gaethje with that uppercut that dropped him. Everything at 155 been different. You know, you're right. You're absolutely right. It would have been so weird. But he was piecing them up. Like before the end of that round, he was definitely piecing them up. That's what made me think that Tony like still had life in him, you know?
Yeah. Even when he got beaten up by Gaethje quite badly, I didn't think it was over. I didn't expect the slide we were going to get because he looked great in that fight, and he has had moments in other fights where he's looked really good.
Yeah. He was doing some good stuff against Michael Chandler until Michael Chandler kicked his face off.
Yeah, he did. We kind of expect that from Chandler these days, though. The Diaz Gogo Plata.
That one was good. That was good. That was good. And
You guys are giving us so many tier list ideas.
Dang.
I feel no shame about ganking your ideas if you're gonna bring them up here. Do you know?
No, when Frank Mir, like, he did snap his arm, like, um, um, Nogueira's arm. That was so bad. It's like, dude, please tap. Please tap.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Whenever an arm gets broken as well, it's like, or a limb gets snapped like that, it's always like, ugh. Even the worst sadists among us
Ooh,
don't get
that's a
MMA
question
donors to do
too.
that.
I'm gonna throw that to Jeremy. So from MMA Sucker, I know he's really top notch at jujitsu. Like, do you ever get somebody in at a competition in a submission, and you're holding on to it, and you want them to tap, but they don't tap? Like, what do you? I mean, do you just go ahead and snap it, or like, what do you do? Like, that's just it
It's
almost
an easy
feels
answer for
evil to
me.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Snap that thing. um,
It's a good
yeah,
question.
no.
It's a good question because if I was in that situation, I wouldn't feel good about doing that either. To be honest.
Yeah, because you like it, dude, you're beat. Like, just I don't want to, make you dismember you.
Yeah, that would be the saddest way to go out. Like if Chiesa's the one to get rid of Tony once and for all. But I'll be honest, man, I'm not the biggest Tony guy. I'm probably the only guy in the space who thinks he's. I don't like his personality. I think he's weird and he just says stupid shit. And I've never found him entertaining outside the cage or much like
Yeah.
his personality.
Um, he's okay. He's all right. I'm glad he cut his hair. He looked insane when he was coming off the Ultimate Fighter, but I never took him seriously as a threat in any division. He's got some good transitions to back takes and things like that. He's got a good guillotine, but he's never been able to strike. He's so if anything, Tony will be able to outstrike him.
Yeah, I think that's a hard one to pick. I mean, I'm more thinking that because Chiesa hasn't looked good for a long whatever, but like just the way that Tony's looked in his last few. I mean, he's just looked slow. I mean, the Diaz one was the worst one for me,
Yeah.
where he genuinely looked like he was just a hobo they dragged off the street. He just looked awful.
So when did you know it was over for Tony? Like, when did you know, like, dude, it's over?
Um, Let me have a look quickly at his record while we're getting into this, because there was a moment when I was like, it's definitely over. And it wasn't. It was not. It was quite a while ago. It was quite a while ago. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Let's
hang on.
see.
Let's have a quick look. I think it was. I think it was the fourth fight into his losing streak, whatever that was. No, it wasn't.
Um, was it
Actually,
Oliveira? No, that was the second fight into his losing streak. It's Michael Chandler was when he kicked his face off.
no, it was Nate Diaz. It was Nate Diaz, and I was like, this is definitely over. Because like with Michael Chandler, there were moments in the first round, and you're like, you don't think he's ever going to amount to anything, but he can at least have good fights. When he fought Nate Diaz and looked as bad as he did, I was like, it's over for this guy. It's fully done. Forget him.
I started to think it was over the moment he shook his head. You remember when Justin hit him and he
Mm.
shook his head? And I was like, oh no, I think it's done. I think that was the last bit of what he had left, and it's over. It's all downhill from here. And sure enough, it's been all downhill. He,
Mm.
he showed some flashes just because he's a unique talent, but
Yeah. I was going to go with the Dariush one as well, but at the time, Dariush was on a little bit of a tear. And there was actually a time, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud and admit this because I'm going to sound like I don't like awful, but there was a time when Dariush was going to fight Charles Oliveira, and I was the biggest Charles Oliveira guy. I actually thought Dariush was going to beat him.
man,
Like he was on
when
such a run at that point because before he got Charles Oliveira, there was talks of him getting Makachev, and I was genuinely like, oh, he might give Makachev some problems, and you know,
that's the fight I really wanted to see too.
I mean, not
I
now.
really
I
want to see
mean,
that.
we know it
Not
would have been
now,
ridiculous, but like,
no. But at the time, At the time,
Time, yeah, there was a time when it seemed like he was the only guy left who might give him give him some trouble genuinely. Nope,
yeah. Nah.
no, that was
If
never going to be a
Oliveira
thing.
did that to him, that's the MMA math part of it. But if Oliveira did that to him, just imagine what Islam would do.
Yeah, but that's the thing is hindsight's obviously it's very easy to go back to hindsight. It's even like with Tony. It's like I think the problem with people like Dariush and with Diaz now, and with a lot of fighters where it ends up happening too, is you very quickly forget how dangerous and how good they were when a certain tear happens, like when they go through a certain period where it's like, oh shit, like, and then going back and admitting, like Paradox says that, oh, I thought you give Makachev a problem at the time. I thought he was going to beat Charles Oliveira. You sound like a fucking melon saying that shit.
Mm-hmm.
See, Closer's got a point. Dariush was probably never that good, but he made us believe he could be, or that he was onto something. Like there was a period in his on that run where you were like, nah, he's actually looking all right. But then you go back to some of the losses he had, like when he got knocked out by Alex Hernandez,
Yeah.
which was a terrible loss to have on at any point of your career. You should not be losing to that guy, and got starched by him as well.
Yeah, it was bad.
Whereas that when you look back at it. Yeah, Cheeto's an interesting one as well. He could be in the middle of a very bad slide because the thing is with Cheeto, even though he's young, he's been fucked up like multiple times,
Yeah, eventually that chin's gonna crack.
and then it's going to be over.
Eventually, because that's a big part of his game.
Mm,
Big part of his game.
it is. It is. So yeah, I mean, I can see a very similar slide for him, which would be sad because Cheeto's another guy that I find quite funny. Like he's very based as well. Like in the way he goes
Yeah.
back and forth with people, I really enjoy him. But like, yeah, I think that title shot is going to be seen as the pinnacle of his career, where it was like that was the moment when it was going to be, are you him or not? And he just wasn't him.
Yeah, Darius has had some bad losses. Paradox. He's had some bad ones.
Yeah.
And speaking of Michael Chiesa, he rear naked choked him. So
Nice to see you here, Cyprus. Nice to have you here. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome to the stream. Yeah, they messed up by making Dariush and Oliveira. That really set things off the rails because Dariush's hype instantly disintegrated right at that moment. It's like, oh yeah, he is that guy that got knocked out by Jakar, well not Jakar Close, well that got beaten up by Jakar Close and pulled out the bag. And he's the same guy who got flatlined by Alex Hernandez. It's just he found a little run and at the right time and that was it.
Alex Hernandez is yuck. I never liked that dude.
Yeah, he's always been shit. Who's your favorite fighter these days? Good vibrations. I think I'm kind of mine are kind of a little like I'd say like it would be out of somebody like Tom Aspinall, who I really enjoy watching. Max Holloway has come right back into the forefront for me because going through his entire thing and seeing how he's kind of back on top again. Those are the first two that came to mind, but there's loads that I'm forgetting because there's so many entertaining guys these days. But those are the first two that came to my mind. And Manel Cap. I love Manel Cap when he actually fights. I love Manel Cap.
Oh
But yeah,
man,
that's always a tough one.
That's very tough. Especially now, I'm trying to remove myself from trying to stay away from personal bias because it makes me talk about them differently. But sometimes you just can't help it. But I don't know.
No, Fluffy's a very obvious one for me because I feel like I talk about Fluffy all the time. Fluffy is my number one guy. Like there's something about Fluffy I just love because like he looks like he should be terrible. But he's a combination of somebody who's got really good technique in terms of how he chains takedowns and stuff together.
Yep.
And like he's just tough. He's so tough. And it's not like he gets fucked up a lot, but he does go through fire on occasion. I just like Fluffy a lot, which is why the Pereira fight just really burns my balls, to be honest. I'm not thrilled about that.
Yeah.
Benil Dariush is the Derek
He
Brunson.
said,
That's not a bad comparison, you know. It's really
yeah,
not a bad comparison.
that's true. That's
Because
very true.
his Dariush's career and comparing that to the blonde Brunson period is very apt. Like I can fuck with that as a comparison, 100%. Just be biased; it makes for a better show. Yeah, I find that all of my guys are kind of like it can fluctuate. Like if you ask me again tomorrow, I'd probably say someone utterly random. Like
There we go.
it's tough. I like Dricus as well. I like watching Dricus fight. I feel like I've got to pull up the rankings here because that would make it much easier for me. Hang on, let me just do this properly while you're sticking the links up.
Yeah, throw up these links to all the channels. I think I'm gonna do about 15 more minutes or so.
That's cool. I'll probably do like another maybe 45 because I actually remember I've got an interview that I've got to entertain very early in the morning, which I'm probably not going to take. But I always take an interview like every 2 or 3 months just in case I decide to come out of retirement, so that I'm not completely rusty when I decide that I do want to go back to work and it takes me ages to get back into it.
Yeah,
Corey would be another one.
Sandhagen.
Corey Sandhagen, I think, might be the most. People are going to think I'm a fucking dumbass for saying this. I think he might be one of the most, if not the most well-rounded fighters in the entire organization, not just in bantamweight.
I don't think you're dumb for saying that, and I think that he should definitely have had a title shot already.
Mm.
I think he's. I think him against Sean O'Malley would be one of the most spectacular fights that we could see.
Mm. My top three, one JDM, two everyone. JDM's really fun as well.
Yeah,
JDM's
he won
really
me over. He won me over.
JDM for me is like I've said this multiple times, but JDM, the way he land, I'm a big fan of people who go to the body, and I've said this a lot on this channel. Um, the way he land that when he hits to the body, you feel the guy shitting. You know he's going to be shitting blood for a month. The way he lands, you're like,
Yeah,
oh damn man, those are
yeah,
brutal. So yeah,
yeah.
JDM's a great one. There's so many. I mean,
Oh,
the UFC is
I got
so.
another one. I got another one for you. Michael Morales.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
one
not
of
a
my
fan.
favorites.
I'm not a fan of
I like
Michael
Michael
Morales.
Morales. I like him
No,
a lot.
I think he's a bit hittable. I would say there's something about
Mm-hmm.
Michael Morales where I think he's got a fraud check incoming sooner rather than later. I feel with that guy. I feel like Jason Jackson was another one I would have brought up. There's so many people like in one as well that I really like. So if you're going outside the UFC, it could go forever. But it's like I said, it's why I love this sport, man. There's so many talented guys out there now that are just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
So many guys outside the rankings as well. When Diego Ferreira retires, Anthony Hernandez is lined up to be my next favorite fight. Diego Ferreira is really fun as well.
Yeah.
He's really fun as well. And he's not that far away from going out. But yeah, Fluff Anthony Hernandez is my guy as well, Plymouth. Like I think he's easily in my top three, if not the one that I'm always rooting for Fluffy no matter who he's fighting. There's just something about the guy I really like. But that's a good question though. It's just a difficult one to answer.
Yeah. It's
And
tough.
there's so many people. But for Corey and Cal Baraujo is not a bad one as well.
Yeah.
I
He's
think he's
dope.
got a lot of potential.
We
He's
don't
trying
even
to
call
call
him
his
by his
shot a little
name.
bit early.
We don't even call him by his name in this house. We call him the accountant because that's what he looks like. He
Mm,
looks like an accountant.
yeah, he's good. I like him a lot. I
His
like him a lot.
striking is coming
He's
along
trying
too.
to he tried to call out a few guys in the top three, which I thought was a bit, yeah, calm down, buddy. Like he called out Whitaker after he won.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
He was probably thinking, oh well, he just fought Aliskarov. Maybe he'll lower you know, his sights for me too. It's like, nah, buddy, you're not worth the trouble right now. Nobody in the top 10 is giving you a unless they're forced to.
Nah.
Yeah, there's loads of guys, man. There's loads of guys. It's a very stacked for all the horrible cards and stuff we've had this year. There are still some great fighters to enjoy. 100%. 100%.
There we go. Bam. There it is. What? That doesn't make sense.
I think we might have like an even more wild Matua in the building with
Oh man.
Takati.
Greatest
I
upcoming
wonder if it is
prospect?
like Matua just in disguise
It
because they
could
have
be.
very similar looking. Like there's a very similar vibe to the names.
Mm-hmm. Greatest upcoming prospect, Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, that's the first name that came to me. So that was an easier
Peyton.
one.
Peyton.
Yeah, I got to go Peyton
That's
as well.
that's that guy.
He's the one guy who I've seen come out of nowhere who I'm like, yep, that guy's going to be a champion. Like sooner or later,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be a champion.
Magumbo.
Who's the buck? Yeah, that's the thing. I think Peyton needs to get that guy out on camera at some point because nobody believes that he's not the butt babe guy. Like
He
you
was
need to
saying.
introduce this guy and say, guys, someone take the heat. Like it's
He
gonna because
said.
it was you. Like someone take the heat for this right now. I don't think he realized he was gonna become a big star and
that it was gonna get out like that.
and he's like, shit, man, I forget people dig.
Oh, Ruffy,
Roofy's
dude.
amazing as well.
Yes, absolutely. I
Uh,
always forget about that dude.
yeah, he's amazing. I like that Japanese guy as well, the bantamweight, Ryu Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya Nakamura, whatever his name, the
Oh,
guy who's a really good wrestler.
I got another one for you, Mike Davis,
Oh, Mike Davis. The only reason why I'm not talking about him is one fight in 3 years.
injured. Yeah, when he comes back, he did enter it like it's Jeopardy. Oh man,
No, I wouldn't. I
what?
wouldn't like to hit Peyton's vape. I took way too long to. I took way too much of a pause there.
Like
Like
you
I
thought
saw it
about it
and
for
I
a
was like, no, no, I wouldn't.
second. That's okay.
That Japanese dude with the corn. Oh, what about Tatsuro Taira? We haven't mentioned him at all today.
Yes, yeah, that's another one.
He
That's
really
another
impressed
one.
me with that last performance. Like fucking hell, that whole leaning shit was amazing. Rinya, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tatsuro Taira is another guy that I'm back on the bandwagon for. I was so
Yeah,
impressed with that.
I think he's got a legitimate shot if they actually do allow him to jump into a title fight.
He's
Or
23, isn't he?
I think
23,
I
24?
think he'd make it interesting. He might lose, but he'd make it interesting.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still here. I'll just have to go off camera for a second, just while I'm.
So can you think of an obvious fixed fight recently? I don't ever really look at the
Oh,
fights like it's
no, the
fixed.
obvious fixed fight is Nico Price versus Robbie Lawler.
Oh, yes,
100%.
that's it. That's the one. That's the one. Oral by
The way he
Ellis
looked against
Brenner.
Morono, wow, that wasn't the
Yeah.
same dude.
Who?
Brenner's another one that I really like. This I'm saying. This sport is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Ooh, Ludovic Klein. Gosh, Ludovic Klein is so good. He's so
I'm still
good.
not sure on Ludovic Klein, but it's because he wasn't that good on. It's because he wasn't that good at featherweight, but he looks much better at lightweight.
Yeah.
So Ludovic Klein, I'm still holding out on him, but Elvis Brenner I really like. Yeah, Oral by as well is not human.
What do you think of Jean Silva?
Not sure yet. This next one's going to be a big indication of where he's at. Like when he
It's,
fights
it's a big step.
Drew
It's a
Dope,
big
like
step
Drew
up.
Dope was a big step up. A couple of people have mentioned that they think Drew Dope was going to get chinned out, and could be. You see, it's getting into that territory, that dark territory
Yeah,
between what is
it's
2 o'clock in the
getting
morning
close to
and
time.
3 o'clock in the
Getting
morning. Yeah,
close
it's
to
getting it.
time.
See? Those 3 a.m. freaks coming out. Garn versus Jones was fixed. Danny Roberts is a sick up and comer.
Hot chocolate?
Which Danny Roberts are we talking about?
Oh no, that dude, left-handed guy. Gosh, what is his name? That dude is good. He should have finished that fight that he was in. Is it? His name is Danny Law or something like that. Let me see.
This might be somebody that I might not actually know about, which is rare for me.
No, that dude is good. Danny Barlow. That's his name.
Danny Barlow.
Yeah.
Yes, I know Danny Barlow. He didn't fight that long ago, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, he looked
See
amazing
what?
as well.
Yeah, he beat Josh Quinlan. Everybody beats
Yeah, the
Josh
thing is
Quinlan,
that
but
Josh Quinlan is a bit shit, yeah, but still.
he's hittable.
But Danny Barlow, wow, yeah, he was impressive. Danny Barlow, yeah, is the guy. Danny Barlow's really good.
Yeah.
Frankie, does it hit the water when you sit down? I don't know what that means. I'd ask you to explain it, but then I know that I'd instantly regret it. He beat Quinlan with broken hands. Yeah, he's really, really good. He's really good. He can crack. Really good. Hang on a sec. Yeah, he can really crack.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Barlow's the guy. Barlow looks great. I appreciate that, smelly fingers. Whatever gets you off, man. Whatever gets you off, brother.
He's a fool. Well, yeah. So yeah, the little ones are about to make me jump off of here, but okay. No, he's trying to go outside, so I got to stop him. But anybody that
Pleasure as always. It's a good run from you. 2 hours is a good run. I'm probably going to
yeah,
stick around for like another, I'd say 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to let people talk about the things that they clearly are desperate to talk about.
dude, do you see what Kaluki Takiti just says?
Please don't leave me alone. It's about to get really uncomfortable in here.
It is. I'll be listening. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Making the Walk, subscribe to Frankie and Jax, subscribe to Bad MMA Math. Yes, Michael Morales. Thank you, Klaus, for being the only person that sticks up for me on that. But yeah, I will holler at y'all. Yeah, all that.
Appreciate you being on, man. Yeah, the French privilege in the UFC is insane. Imavov getting to sit out to fight in Paris after a controversial W, Garn ducking, Charrier getting a contract having lost to Vucinic and Hughes. I think the Imavov fight was fine. I didn't really mind the stoppage with Jared Cannonier. Like the guy ran away and was wobbled and stuff. I don't think it was an amazing stoppage, but I kind of get it. Like I don't mind. I'm not on the camp of like they should redo that. Not at all. This was a great live. The thing is, it's getting more and more wild in here. Like it really is. If you haven't subscribed to Jax already, if someone could throw up his singular channel up in here as well, please subscribe to him because he's always got great content out. He did a great video recently about what chat. He like put a whole load of different aspects into Chat GTP and got them to pick who the top 11 fighters of all time would be, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting listen. Very good idea for a video as well. So get over and watch that one. I would ask you to subscribe. I would ask what's your name again? Let me go back and check quickly. Yeah, I would ask Takati to subscribe, but I'm kind of scared of you, to be honest. And I very rarely get scared in here. If you see the things we've been talking about, I'm like, God damn, this is a level I wasn't ready for. And I don't think we'd ever get there. So well done for that. Well done for finally breaking me. Don't forget me when you're famous. Don't worry, man. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I like to think that we've got like a core base of guys here now who are just gonna be at the forefront of the channel for forever. Yeah, Dober and Davis got cancelled. Davis got injured in training. There was a video out about it. He pulled something in training, and it's going to be Dober versus what the fuck is his name? The guy who just fought not that long ago. Somebody else mentioned his name. But yeah, that fight has been replaced, unfortunately. We're not going to see Mike Davis for a little while. It looks like a bad injury. We're back. I am an entity beyond hamburger helper. That hamburger comment's going to come back to haunt me as well. The cum hamburger comment, because I said that way too quickly. So it's not a good look. Got me over here. Yeah, Smelly Fingers feels like he's got to up the ante now, which is what's making me very, very worried. Because Smelly's usually the guy who's bringing things to like not even just base levels, just like getting cancelled from YouTube type levels. But now you might be having a run for your money here. Yeah, I'm genuinely nervous about the next 15, 20 minutes. For sure. But it's always fun with you guys, man. Like I said, there's always replay value to these streams because it just gets out of pocket really quickly. Crystal's up in the building. Crystal, you made my heart glow today with some of your videos. I swear to God. You are such a sweetheart. You really are. So get over to Crystal Miller's channel and subscribe to her because she definitely deserves some love. That you're not going to see a more sweet, kind-hearted person on YouTube who genuinely makes like interesting content as well. So get over to Crystal Miller. I'm an entity beyond Hamburglar helper. I don't know how you found this channel, but I suspect it's because of the amount of people we've been attracting here lately. You fit in here perfectly, by the way. I know I sound like I'm ragging on you, but it's actually you're actually perfect for this community. It's made me rethink a lot of the things I am about, like, you know, about my personality and whatnot, and the type of person I am. Because you definitely fit in here. Kaliki, if Joe Pfeiffer had you like that, what? Sorry, hang on a second. If Joe Pfeiffer had you like that, how were you in the Pereira fight? It's a fair point. Fuck you, Paradox. Oh man. Why is it, yeah, as soon as Jax leaves, it's like things just get progressively worse in here? What is going on? Could you be ITP in a scrap? I love ITP, so I don't want to comment on that, but I like my chances. Because from what I understand, like ITP is like he's an awesome dude, lovely person. I've got age and I think a little bit of size on him. I wouldn't say much size, but I would like my chances against anyone and probably be wrong 99% of the time. So this isn't me shitting on ITP. If you put anyone up, I'd be like, yeah, I'll fuck that guy up. And then if it actually happened, I'd probably just run away. Bad MMA math. Are you into anal? I know the Chinese girls don't usually go for it, but the sick British men love that shit. I'm not really into it. Nah, to be honest, I'm not. I've joked about it in the past about having options and free holes to fuck with, but to be honest, I'm not really that guy. I did have 2 of my exes in the past that requested that shit, and naturally I obliged because I'm a fucking monster. But I've never requested it. I've never really been that into it. Pussy is fantastic, so it doesn't really seem like a necessary one for me. There is one instance where like somebody said, well, it's your only option, and then that's a whole different story. But you know, we won't get into that. Not tonight. I'm not saying that. So size. So you're like saying he has a small peen. No, I don't know about that. I don't really talk about other people's peens. Like I talk about my own every opportunity I get. But no, I'm not going to be discussing ITP's peen on here. That's not a thing. But yeah, if he's like 5'5" and 120 pounds, I would have a significant size advantage on him. I know I look like a skinny crack addict, but I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. I'm about 5'8", and I'm a little bit stocky now, or stockier than I was definitely. Damn, Bad Math went to the T side and only had one hole to pick from. It was something like that. It was something like that. And it wasn't as bad as it sounds, but it was close to being that way. There was one time I almost got tricked, 100%. But it was literally it was, and it was in Thailand. It was like the second time I was there. I was really like, you know, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Yo, I'm going to have to get something back for that story. I'm going to have to get something back for that story. You're not getting that one for nothing. Someone's going to have to offer up some real juice for that one. Because that's literally like, I mean, I don't really care about my reputation or what people say about me. It's more just like, there's only some things I have in the chamber where it's like, I can trade this story for something good. And this is one of those moments for sure. Because I think you guys know about me already. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not worried about anything I say on video coming back to haunt me later on because I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm literally like uncancelable in that way. So yeah, if there'll be something worth trading for. Crystal, let me tell you something about bad math. Something about bad math MMA. That's all. Fire away, sir. You've got free reign to say whatever you wish. I've got plenty of skeletons in my closet, and I'm actually pulling them out one by one myself. So there's I don't feel like I'm in any danger really. Bratwurst. What do you prefer, Frank or Frankfurt? Bratwurst. Are we really going to do sausage comparisons right now? Is that what we've sunk to? Is that what we have delved to this late in the night? Or certainly late in the night for me. You have less to worry about than a single mum on OnlyFans. A single mum on OnlyFans. You care. Smelly, I love you, man. I do. You know I do. You care. Frankfurters. Is that what the choice is? Frankfurters or Bratwurst? Frankfurters. I fuck with the odd Frankfurter every now and then. I do. The fights are so god awful. We are out of topics. The thing is, yeah, it's we don't really talk about fighting that much in here, especially like in my I feel like fighting is becoming very much like secondary on this channel, especially when I'm on here by myself. It just becomes like a therapy session or like a, and then it becomes like we call it like dark YouTube around here. I was asking about your name, honestly. I thought you were talking about different food. Bangers and mash over Toad in the Hole. I'm just a big mashed potato guy. You give Rambo 2 a send. I'm gonna watch Rambo 2 again tomorrow. I'm gonna go through the whole Rambo thing again just for you, bro. I'm definitely gonna go with another Rambo rewatch because it's been, like I said, it's been a long time. It's definitely on my. I came very very close to watching it last night before I chucked what do you call it, Workaholics on. But then I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to sit here for a 2-hour movie. I'd rather just have something on that I can fall asleep to. Because I know if I put Rambo on, I wasn't gonna go to sleep until it was done. Do you mean what do I prefer to be called? What were the choices? Frankie and what was the other one? Frankie or Frank? I probably Frankfurt's kind of sick. I wouldn't mind that. I'm kind of used to being called. I mean, most people call me by my actual name, which is just Francis. Most people in my life call me by my actual name, but if it's not Francis, it's usually Frankie. I very rarely get called Frank because like I've got loads of. So basically, my name, which is obviously Francis, is like a generational name. So every firstborn in each of the generations is called Francis. So there's like been quite a few Francises in my family. So people used to always go with Frankie. Let's go. Let's try and catch up. What's that moving behind you, dear? What a lovely old lady. Ugh. I am a pervert. I've got no issues with that. I mean, bro. I mean, calling me a pervert does nothing to me. Think about the things I've said in a lot. If you, definitely a pervert. Um, is Francis actually a French name? I think a lot of people misunderstand that because obviously it sounds like France, but I don't think it's necessarily a French name. It could be. I might be wrong. Francis feels like a very Irish name to me. A Frankfurt is a sausage in the States. Bratwurst, get it. Your name, that's a sick one. I like that. I do like that. I rank them Rambo 2, Rambo 4. There was a recent Rambo movie that was quite good. Like the recent Rambos weren't that bad. Second best is Rambo 5, and third best is Rambo 3. Fourth best, and first is the last. Do you recommend that I watch them in sequence or just forget Rambo 1 again? I've seen Rambo 1 not that long ago. And I like it because it's very gritty. Oh, my bad, bro. So, how about Norma G-Man cheeks, and why don't they have 170 for chicks, even more thickness? I mean, 140. I mean, look. I mean, if you're asking why they shouldn't have more women in higher weight classes, just look at like what's that Australian bitch's name? What's her name? The one who fights at 145. If you look at her and that other Aussie bird, they are horrible and slow. I'd be in for it for the jiggling, 100%. But in terms of like fights, they should just come out and strip and then just leave. Like if we're talking about like 170 chicks coming out, bring them out, have them take the, just strip down, dance for us, and then leave. I think they should do that with all women in combat sports, to be honest. That's just how I feel about it. I feel that the very few good women's fighters that we have don't make up for all the bad, shitty ones. That's just how I feel about it. You know how I feel about women in general and what their role should be. It is what it is. Your middle name is Francis. That's sick, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I've been asked this question before. I don't speak Gaelic. I know a few like Gaelic words, but remember, yeah, I grew up in England, yeah. And my mother, who's obviously like fully Irish, um, she used to resent having to learn Irish in school. So she's not that good at it. That language is going to be dead in like next generation. That language is finished. Not a lot of people speak Gaelic. So if you're a fighter or even on a team, should you support your ancestry or the country that you came from? That's the thing. I think it comes down to your preference. Like I would have never if I'd ever made it in any professional sport, I wouldn't have come anywhere near close to representing England or like because my ancestry wise, there's definitely some French in there. I think most people pick the country where their parents are quintessentially from, and then it gets kind of filtered down after that. So both my parents were like fully Irish, so I would have gone for they could have been brother and sister for all I know. It would make a lot of sense. Anyway, yeah. So I think most people pick whatever their parents were from because they tend to get that sense of national pride from their parents. It doesn't really matter if they ended up. That's why I've got no sense of pride in being English whatsoever. If anything, I'm more anti-English. Do they have Pop Tarts in the UK? Fuck yeah, they do. I haven't had a Pop Tart in years. I used to love them when I was like a teenager. The cherry ones, I think, were the ones that were the ones that I fucked with. The cherry ones with like the pink icing, the pink and white icing, or maybe it was the white icing with like sprinkles on it. I'm sure they have those in America as well. But in America, yeah, you've got a lot. Because when I went to America, I noticed you guys have got a lot more variety of Pop Tarts to choose from. We had like, maybe somebody in the UK can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we had like 5 flavors from what I remember. I think we had chocolate, we had strawberry, we had cherry, vanilla, and something else. Whereas in America, it gets wild up in there. You got like peanut butter. There's probably like what 20 or 30 different types of Pop Tart. Do you have an Instagram account or Twitter? Yes, I'm on Twitter, and I'm a savage on Twitter. If you type, I don't really use Instagram. I do have one, but I don't use it. But if you look up at Bad MMA Math on Twitter, you'll find me there, and I'm a fucking monster on there. My Twitter game is toy. Because literally, whenever I'm going between places, I straight away jump on Twitter. Like whenever I'm traveling, which is often, I always jump on Twitter. And I just have stupid, fucking childish conversations with people who are probably 14-year-olds. Not in that way, of course. If I just get into stupid, petty arguments. Michelle Waterson retired today. Girl, I saw that, you know. I saw her on Ariel Helwani, and she looked fucked up. She went from like a fucking... She went from a 5 to like a 2 for me. Instantly, she looked fucked up. Ballsack 2, boss man, how you doing? You're coming in from Kick. Nice to see you, brother. Please do subscribe to Bad MMA Math. You're very welcome. Blue raspberry Pop-Tarts were the best. That sounds dope. I was definitely a cherry guy from what I can remember. I actually feel bad for Michelle. At least Michelle got a fucking send-off. Yeah, I almost diddied myself there. Yeah, man, Pop-Tarts are the bomb. Put butter on it and it's so fucking good. The thing is, now that you guys are talking about Pop-Tarts, I know that I'm going to be in this. I know that I'm going to be at a supermarket tomorrow, and I'm going to walk past them, and I'm going to be like, "Yeah, fuck it, yeah, fuck it," and then I'll be re-talking to you about the experience. I might even try the butter thing just for you, bro. Are you into outdoor survival stuff? I used to go camping and shit all the time. I haven't done it in. It's something I have a list of things that I like. Fishing is something I want to go back to doing. Camping is something I want to go back to doing. It's just time, mostly. These, I think when my kid gets a little bit older, I'm going to drag him into all that stuff. Definitely fishing and camping is definitely going to be on the agenda. But I've become such a domesticated house cat now that I'd probably die out there. I'd probably be one of those guys who goes out in the woods with like a fucking... I'd miss something key, some key material, and then or some key piece of kit that I needed, and end up getting found like 20 days later because nobody would come and look for me. So that's how that would probably go. Don't feel bad for Michelle. She was so overrated. 6'9". Was she 6 and fucking 9? Are you joking? Dude, that's fucking terrible. She's 6 and 9 and she got a fucking video send-off. This is what I'm saying, yeah. Dana definitely banged her. Definitely banged her. He definitely did. For her to be 6 and 9 here and getting a video send-off, he definitely bent her over a table at some point. 100%. I don't want to see any women get beat up. Pop-Tarts, the best Pop-Tart is cinnamon brown sugar. Do they have Crystal? Do they have those in the UK? Please inform me if they do, because those would be the ones I'd die for tomorrow. I fucking love everything cinnamon. Actually, the blueberry Pop-Tarts were fire too. Fuck butter, get the frosted ones. They don't do frozen pop. They don't. Oh, frosted ones is in the ones that have like icing sugar and shit on it. Yeah, those are the one. All the Pop-Tarts here have icing sugar on them. I fuck with those 100%. I get Snickerdoodle. See, Snickerdoodle is something we don't get in the UK as well. So things about America that I miss visiting, yeah, is when it comes to your food variety. I mean, Jesus Christ. I remember going into I was in Washington one time, and I got these fries that had like, they said they had like 111 herbs on it or something. I'm like, Americans know what time it is when it comes to food, man. You just have variety coming out your assholes. Whereas in England, we get Pop-Tarts, but there's like 5 different types. We get fries, but there's like, you can go to McDonald's or you can go to Burger King, and they might be cut slightly differently, or they use a different potato, but you don't get that variety. Americans slap different when it comes to their food. I'm not surprised so many of y'all are fat. Is there any food you can't get, really? Bro, I'm telling you, in the UK, the variety is not there. I'm just being real. Like when I went to America, I was literally blown away. I gained like I remember the last time I was there for like 2 weeks, and I gained like a stone. Because it's just like you guys have just so much to choose from. It's crazy. You can go ahead and order them from Amazon, and the 32 count. Hang on a second. I'm doing that right now while we're speaking. So I just cinnamon Pop Tarts. Yep. Got straw. Oh, there they are. I know what frosted brown. Yep, I'm fucking with that. Believe that. And you said the 16 pack, 16 or 32. Yep. Oh fucking! I was gonna. It's. Oh man, it's saying it's gonna take until the 22nd of July. Fuck it, let's do it. And then I'll give you an honest to God review then. GSP didn't even get us, but see, GSP didn't. I mean, GSP might have fucked Dana, to be honest, or vice versa. He's French, you know that he's got that French little thing to him, so you know they're down for everything. But no, that confirmed it. As soon as they played that video, I was like, she definitely noshed him off 100%. Definitely, there's no doubt in my mind. I didn't know it was bad as 6 and 9 as well. If I'd known that at the time, I'd have been like, God damn. Okay. Why is there food you can't get? Yeah, it's just UK, man. We're known for having shit cuisine choices and just terrible. We're known for it. We're known for being absolutely like um you know, we're known for having like the worst cuisine on earth. I don't think it's that bad, but like it's something that we're known for. We're known for having like shit teeth. Um yeah, and that basically. Which isn't really true about the shit teeth thing. I've never really understood that. Americans seem to think we all have bad dental hygiene. You guys need to live. We live to eat. Yeah, I know it's kind of sad. I've never really been much of a foodie, but I've become more like that as it weirdly correlated into a time when I started getting a little bit richer. It's funny how that works. I'm glad that we're talking about favorite foods. If you guys have never experienced an Argentinian steak, for example, and you love steak, you need to do that immediately. Find an Argentinian steakhouse. They're awesome. Nice to have you here, Weston. I'm not here for that much longer as well. I think I'm going to go another few minutes, maybe a bit longer than that. Assuming things, unless things pick up enormously, I might stay for maybe 20 at most. But I do have like an interview I've got to pretend to be interested in tomorrow morning because I'm not going back to work anytime soon. I may never go back to work, but I like to keep myself sharp. I usually order the 32 because I'm gonna go big. Yeah, all jokes aside, it's a blessing and a curse. Overconsumption of these is fatal. Yeah, I'm still kind of I'm never in danger of that. I've always been like very health conscious, so want a link to where I'm headed? 100, bro. You don't need to ask. You've got free reign in here. Have I ever told you you're not allowed to do something? Well, making your own pop tarts, that is amazing. You've got to make a video of that sometime. You've got to make a video of that sometime. That is one I would definitely jump on. 100%. Yeah, Paradox. Your video on Jon Jones is getting watched. I just realized I've added a couple subscribers today, which is awesome. I'm on 777, which looks like a weird number to me. It looks and seven's my favorite number, so this feels like a landmark moment. Yeah, in this MMA, see at the top, sweet. I'll check that out as well. Let me add the where is that? I've still got Big Taz's video up on repeat. Hang on a sec. Let me click on that one there. In this MMA. Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe over here as well. Shout out to In This MMA. That might be a place to raid potentially if he's the only guy on when I head off. Thank God I own these because that gets expensive if I don't. Yeah, food's generally expensive, man. I can't believe how it's going these days. It's out of control. Even for a baller like me, you know. Just kidding. I'm not that well off. Too much weird talk. No, I feel like it's been pretty. I mean, apart from one or two pushing the goalposts, I feel like it's been pretty tame in here today, which is strange. Of course, Chris Gray. Of course it is. You fucking legend. Chris Gray, are you on Twitter as well? Yeah. I need to chuck my Twitter up. I mean, it's the same as my handle on here, but you can catch me on Twitter literally all the time, and I'm so active on there that that I respond to pretty much everything that's going on there because I use it so much. If you ever people will testify to this in there. If you're in here, if you DM me on Twitter, I usually get back to people pretty quickly. And I get into conversation. Thanks very much, Good Vibrations, man. You legend. Thanks for turning up again. I always appreciate having you in here. Genuinely. I'll make a video where I make Pop-Tarts themselves. I'm down for that. All right, that settles it. Next honey harvest, I'll go ahead and make a couple of different videos. One where I'm making the honey sauce or filling. Yes, I would love that. And send it to me immediately. Tame? Bro, Takati, I'm telling you, if you come in here more often, you're going to see this was tame today. It really was. And that's the thing. If we usually when we start things out with Antoine, because he's such a mature, responsible person, people don't usually go for the neck. It's literally when I'm by myself that people just start asking about butt stuff and cum sandwiches and all that kind of stuff. It just gets out of hand. And usually it's me. Usually somebody will say something slightly zesty and I'll just take it too far. So I'm not blaming you guys. I'm blaming myself for attracting guys and gals like you to the chat. It's mostly my fault. I'll be honest. It just mostly is. I got you on Twitter already. You follow me. Yeah, no, sorry, Chris. Maybe I actually you're in the are you in the group, Chris, as well? Hang on. Let me check this. Chris, what's your handle again? I follow you, but I don't interact with you on Twitter, do I much? Or you haven't DM'd me. So Chris, if you're not in the group already, because we've got a group of us all together, which you might be actually. Let me check. I don't think you are. What's your handle? Send that to me immediately. I'm going to tell you this. I've been here this whole time as a homie. Much love and comedy. Oh, man, I appreciate that. That is really awesome. That is really... And I'm glad that you're interacting now. I'm glad that you're interacting with the group now. Because like I said, the one thing I love about this this channel and the way it's developing is it just feels like anything goes. I want it to be known as that kind of place. I really do. I really, really do. But yeah, DM me on Twitter, Chris, and I'll add you to the group if you're not in there already. It's pretty tame in here today because I have my 18-year-old daughter in the room. So yeah, I'm not being so out of pocket. Crystal, you're like the most based female I've ever met. It's awesome. There should be more women like you in the world out there, and I suggest you make more daughters and be around more women so that you can infect things more. Because I've always appreciated your view on feminism and the way that the world is and all the rest of it. It's awesome. I love it. I think I'm going to head off at this point. But what I would appreciate from you guys actually, if you could jump over to In This MMA and just do a quick, a quick raid, I'd really appreciate that. So if you jump over here, the channel name is, hang on, In This MMA. Just dive in there and just say Bad MMA Math Raid and just get into it. That would be sick. I'd really appreciate you. I'm gonna find you, Chris, right now as well, and just add you to hang on. Because you belong in this. We've got a group on here that's you'd be perfect for. Hang on. Mr. Chris. Bang on the nose. Yeah, Saturday. Sorry, Saturday. You were amazing last night, bro. I'm glad you turned up before I headed off because you were fucking incredible last night. Hang on a second, Mr. Chris. Why can't I find you? Maybe because I've typed in at Mr. Chris. What the hell? Is that a troll one? Mr. Chris 6969. I just realized. Hang on. Sorry, lads and ladies. I'll be right back. I'm still here. Oh, there you are. Why is it that I can't add you to my group then? Hang on. It really is Mr. Chris 60. I should have known you weren't joking. Let me add you to the group. Yeah, Saturday, you were amazing, man. I love having you in here. I feel really bad that I'm not there you go. You're added, Chris. Yeah, I feel really bad that I'm but if you could do a stream raid on what is it again? In this MMA, that would be fucking sweet. That would be fucking sweet. I would love you all for that. Genuinely. Because again, any support for people in the community, I'm always down for. ITP said Peyton Talbot looks like he's a girl that isn't gay. Thoughts? Yeah, so he's basically saying he looks like a lesbian, right? I fuck with that. He looks like a lesbian. He nailed it. He nailed it, to be honest. He nailed it. I was thinking, does he look like someone? And no, it's just he looks like a lesbian. Saturday night, you were amazing. Yeah, that didn't sound good, did it? That didn't sound good. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris, I saw you mention that about flying across Canada. Have a great one, man. I hope you have a safe flight. And we'll look forward to seeing you in here tomorrow, hopefully, or whenever you get back, because I will be. I'll come on tomorrow, and I'll come on Friday as well. I just said come on Friday. This is not a good end to me. This is not a good end for me. It really isn't. Fuck. I always find a way of ruining it, don't I? It's fucked. Yeah. Good luck on your flights. Chris. I have linked it. Hang on. Let me just pin it quickly before I go. I'll pin it. Hopefully you can all see it. I'll post it in one more time. But jump in over there, ladies and gentlemen, and raid your balls off. And fannies off. I was gonna say pussies, but Crystal's here, and it's like that wouldn't be right. But yeah, Crystal, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for posting those videos today. They really they were really lovely. I really enjoyed them. And again, a reminder, Paradox, do it quickly as well. Can you chuck your Can you please chuck your link up here as well for people to get over to your channel? Just before we head off, I really appreciate that. Because Paradox is very dangerously close to 100 subs, and he deserves it. Very creative videos, and I love your narrational style. But yeah, much love to everyone as always. You know how much I appreciate every single one of you, and I always will. You'll always have a place here to say whatever the fuck you want, and you can hold me to that. Much love to all of you. Have a great what fucking day is it? Wednesday? Tuesday? What fucking day is it? This is how you know I'm totally fucked. Maybe I do need to go back to work. Oh, it's Thursday. Right. Whoops. Stay cool to the lot. You JJPB, thanks for turning up as well, my brother. So yeah, get do that raid on my man over there, and all the best to all of you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take it easy. Much love. Jones is gay. Yeah, for real.